Didn't turn my mic on. Hello, 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 welcome. Wouldn't be one of my streams if I didn't screw something up right at the start. Well, thank you, Eric. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's me. I'm back. Yes, if you missed me earlier on today, I'm back. I was going to originally do a bit of a hangout with myself and a couple of your lovely mods from the Boom Hut. Just a bit of a chat, hangout type thing. But I just watched the Chancellor do his thing, and as a self-employed person, I'm in such a foul mood that I'm not in the mood to mess about with Streamlabs or any StreamYard or Google Hangouts. And I'm in a grumpy mood, so I thought, screw it. I'm just going to do a live stream. I'll just sit and do some work and hang out with you guys. It's just less hassle because I'm in a grumpy mood now, so I need to be cheered up. Because basically, as self-employed people, we're all be kind of didn't get a good deal coming out the back today. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. No politics. No politics. So. And clear my throat. I need some coffee. Hang on. Excuse me. Hang on. Let me just mute while I clear my throat. There you go. That's better. Yes, welcome, welcome. If you didn't catch earlier on, these are what I'm calling my stuck-at-home streams. For any of you who are quite obviously stuck at home, given the current situations. Now, just before we go anywhere, I did say this before, but I'll say it every time. YouTube are demonetizing any streams where there is very obvious discussion of the current medical situation around the world. So if you're going to discuss anything, keep it nice and general. Don't mention the C word or the V word or the P word, or don't be particularly specific because their algorithms will look for keywords and things. And I don't want to demonetize this stream because this is my livelihood. This is why I'm doing all these streams, because I need to make some money. So yeah, we're not going to not talk about it, but let's just keep it very general and fluffy and not use the specific words that get me monetization pulled, because that would suck. So yes, welcome, welcome. I'm going to be doing some streams as and when, just to give those of you who are stuck at home something to have on in the background. You can hang out with your friends in the chat, we can have a good time, and just have something to do, because even though as a modeler, I said this before in the early show earlier, but even as modelers, while the idea of having nothing to do but sit at the bench all day sounds fantastic, doesn't take long before you get frustrated with it and the reality of it sets in and you get a bit lonely. So I'm going to be doing as many streams as I can over the coming weeks / months / however long. Just this kind of thing. I'll crack on with my Warhammer Conquest building. And we'll just do chat. I'll still do my Sunday stream for Warhammer Conquest specifically, but this is just a generic stream. So we'll just do some stuff. Some other times I might do other things. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so as always, this is just more of a thing for you guys to hang out and chat and have a good time with me on in the background. Usual stuff applies, of course. I've got the chat here in front of me, just off camera. I was going to try and do another one where I was looking at you guys in the camera, but I'm doing small close-up stuff now, so it doesn't really work for that. I'm showing you things on the desk, it's all right, but doing this kind of thing, it doesn't really work. So yeah, we're going to crack on. As always, like I said, I've got the chat here in front of me. I'm going to count on you to keep me company, so do talk to me in chat. You always do anyway. If you want to get my attention, you can put your comment in big fat capital letters so I have a chance of seeing it. If you want to, you can do a super chat, which is the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That puts your comment in a big coloured box and also puts a little animation up here in the corner, so there's no way I can miss your comment. Also, it does actually support me because it directly supports this channel. I get the income from that. So if you'd like to help support this channel, I know it's a big ask right now for anybody, but if you'd like to help, because this is what I do for a living and need all the help I can get, do feel free to use the super chat. But I say it means I see your comment more clearly then. But otherwise, just do a lot of chatting. Do a lot of chatting. Now, earlier on today, we did a little hangout like this, and I showed lots of stuff, and I did the X-Wing stuff. So today, what I'm going to do, or this evening, what I'm going to do, there's nothing more to do on the big, massive studio scale X-Wing. So on this one, I'm going to crack on with my Warhammer Conquests. I'm up to issue 50, which is the Chaos Cultists. Now, if you remember, basically, I'm getting all the building out of the way, and then in the coming months, when everything's built and I've got no more issues to come, I can then just start the painting and film the painting. So we shall crack on. Now, I'm going to try and do as many of these streams as I can over the coming weeks and months. I've still got my other stuff to do, obviously, like I said earlier on, if you didn't see it. I was going to be doing the Silver Templars build and paint this week, filming that for you. However, the whole situation now has changed. I am isolated. I am in the house. I can't leave the house. I'm not ill, just in case you missed it. I'm not ill personally. Myself and Mama Fox are both absolutely fine. But Mama Fox is at risk. So being older, she's highly at risk. So I can't afford to go out and possibly pick something up and bring it back, because to Mama Fox, that could be fatal, or if not very damaging. So we've shut down, we're locked down, we're not leaving the house, apart from to go in the garden. So this is my lifeline to you guys, basically, for you guys and of you guys to you guys. You know what I mean? I'm waffling on like Boris Johnson. No politics, please. But yes, let's have a look. Have a quick look at chat before we get going. Pascal, of course, Pascal was the first in. Let me know about the audio and video again, by the way, guys. I was a bit loud earlier today when I did the stream, so I'm going to try and talk a bit quieter. When I do a live stream, I get carried away, and I talk very fast and very loud. It's not brilliant, so do let me know if I sound okay. Pascal, of course, was the first in because Pascal never sleeps. Pascal never sleeps. I don't think he actually has a sleep cycle. I think he just stays awake and watches all the channels. I think Pascal is actually a massive AI that's just he's in everything, and he sees all. I think Pascal, you are an AI, aren't you? Basically, you are a YouTube AI. We need to do a Turing test. Pascal is in, of course. Mike Jones, hello from Shoreline, Washington. Hello, Mike Jones. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Not seen you on here before, but welcome. You're more than welcome. How are you doing in Washington? How is it there? Is this Washington State or Washington DC or Washington in Newcastle WA? There you go, lovely. There's lovely. That's Welsh. I did Welsh then when I was trying to do Newcastle. So it could be either. Could be anywhere. Could be UK, but I'm guessing Washington State. But welcome. I hope you're okay and safe. Rich, hang on, lads. I've got an idea. Vice says, woohoo, finally caught one of your live shows and in real time. Yes, welcome. You are more than welcome. Liking the name. Hang on, lads. I've got an idea. Eric Graham, of course, is back. Evening all. Welcome, Eric. Pascal, we've got Pascal Ickle Pete's in. Welcome, Ickle Pete. Agdemonic, hello everyone. Hope you have a wonderful day. Welcome. Thank you, Agdemonic. It's very kind of you. Welcome. Nice to see some different names from this morning. I'm kind of doing this one now because I know a lot of people weren't around earlier on today in various countries, and also some people were at work. Bless them. So trying to get as many people as I can. Have a look. Dad is, of course, one of your mods, and he is in. Dad and Cy Reynolds. Our Lord and Master Kevin, of course, both of your mods. They are lovely. They will keep you safe. They'll keep you protected. They will make sure you come to no harm. But if you cross them, they will burn you alive with a magnifying glass and the sun, and it'll take a long time because you are not an ant. So don't cross them. But yes. Don't forget, of course, you can use rude words and swearing in the chat. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. Just don't use the specific words for the current medical situation. Just keep it general, you know. Let's have a look. I think Fox needs a hug, but from a distance, says Eric Graham. Always need a hug. Hugs are always required, but always from a distance. Dad's here, yay! Cy Reynolds comes on and says, "I'll do it in the best." Who's that guy that does the trailers? The sort of fake trailers. It's just called like movie trailers. The YouTube channel where they do like fake movie trailers, and he goes, "Boobs." I can't do the voice. He's kind of a Duke Nukem voice. I can't get close enough to the microphone to go boobs. I see slaughter bases. What are you building? Says Cy Reynolds. Building Nurgle, the Hounds of Disease. Appropriate. I'm building some Chaos Cultists. Yes, they're like 2-part kits. It took me 5 minutes or 3 hours because it's like body, arm. Not exactly complicated. Maverick Wildwolf, hi Fox, hello from France. I wish you'll have better luck than me on your next Conquest issues. It seems I have mine within a few months delay. Aha. Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, I've just got issues 75 to 78, so I've got 2 more to come, which is the last 2 are the big sort of scenery items. There's no guarantee they'll turn up in a couple of weeks. They might not turn up for months, but they might do. I don't know, but we'll find out. Same with the X-Wing part work. I should get more X-Wing parts in about 5 weeks. There's no guarantee of that because, you know, hey, there might be nobody there. Yeah, but hey, I've got 70. It'd be really sad if I got all of them except the last 2, but then at least it's just scenery items. Nevbo Model Maker's in. Hey Andy, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Pascal AI. Who likes AI? And it'll be 3 hours before he starts building one, says Eric Graham. This would be correct. In fact, no, I'm going to start now just to spite you. Now, as always, don't forget, we are doing a stream boss. I know it doesn't really matter at the moment, but we are doing a stream boss battle as always. I'm pulling tape off my desk. Sorry, I got distracted by things I can peel. We are doing a stream boss battle, as you can see up there. George is our current stream boss. He's had a bit of his health taken off. If you don't know what stream boss battle is, Basically, one of you is a stream boss and starts out with 100,000 health. The rest of you have to battle him to get his health down to 0. Whoever gets him to 0 wins a big fat pot of money, which right now we could all do with. Basically, it's a way for the community, for you guys, to build up a pot of cash that can then be spent at Games Workshop, Forge World, or Goblin Gaming if you're in the EU or the UK. Effectively, what you do is, if you want to get his health down, the way to take George's health down is to put a tip in the tip jar. The tip jar is there, streamlabs.com/model making guru. Every time you put a tip in, some of his health comes off, and you can see there the black health bar has gone down a little bit because he's had some health taken off. Every time you put a tip in the tip jar, some of his health comes off. That money just sits there. I don't make any money off this. That money just sits in the tip jar. There's about 25, 30 quid in there at the moment, something like that. It might be 40 quid. And basically, every time you tip him, some of his health comes off. If your tip takes his health to 0, you then win the budget of all that money in the tip jar. Basically, I will then tell you how much is in the tip jar. You will then tell me what you want me to order for you from Games Workshop, Forge World, or Goblin Games. I place the order, it turns up on your doorstep, done. Doesn't cost you a penny. And as an example of the amount you can win, I do change the value of the health HP point, so it's not always the same. But when George became stream boss, he won 488 quid to spend. And after a lot of back and forth, because he couldn't quite decide, and then some stuff didn't exist yet, he eventually got his order in. There was a lot of back and forth. So, yeah, so you can win a significant amount of plastic. And given the fact that we're all going to be stuck indoors for the next however long, it might be worth giving it a go. So get your tips and things going in. I'm just going to find my tweezers and stuff. Get your tips and stuff coming in. Remember, the trick is to put in as little as possible and get as much out. There you go. So don't forget that. Let's have a look. Rich, hang on lads, I've got an idea advice. It says the hang on lads moniker came from originally being known as hang on lads, I've got an idea. On all the forums after building the 1/10th RC Italian job coach. Then all the identity laws changed, so my tag had to too. Beer. You don't actually have to have your real name on the YouTubes though. You could be Bob Spombalina if you wanted to be. As you can see from Maverick Wildwolf, Nevbo Model Making, and Agdemonic. You've got Ickle Pete. So you don't have to have. I know it's a Google thing, but your YouTube name doesn't have to be. You can be whatever you want. I'm not actually a model making guru. Well, I am, but I'm not. Anyway, shut up, Fox. So anyway, let's crack on. We've got a vast array of instructions to follow. This is it. That's the entire instruction sheet. It's just that bit. It's not even one full page. Look, Guthorm. It's not even a full page. Look, see, it's pathetic. So this won't take long. It's like stick, arm, to, body, done. What's after this? Ooh, hemotrope reactor. I'm not looking forward to. I might leave that because I'm leaving the scenery class because scenery bores me. Oh. That's made me sad now. That after, yeah, I don't. We might skip a few steps and go straight for typhus. You know what? And it sounds really weird. Take it any way you want to. I'd rather have typhus than build a Space Marine motorbike. Consider that how you will. Cy Reynolds says, I won £495. George is an imposter. Yes, before George was the stream boss, Cy Reynolds, or Kevin, was the stream boss. And Cy won £495. And both Simon and George bought many wonderful things from Games Workshop. Now, some people have asked, does it have to be Games Workshop? Yes. Games Workshop, Forge World, or Goblin Gaming. Ideally, Goblin Gaming, because they're one of my affiliates. There's a link in the description below the video. Use that link, it tells them I sent you and I make a bit of income. Goblin Gaming, because they're my affiliates, and if you're in the EU or the UK, their Games Workshop stuff is 20% off, so you can get a lot more for your bang for your buck. Games Workshop and Forge World, I want to stick it to that because wherever you are in the world, I can place an order here in the UK and it will be dispatched from your local Games Workshop, your national. It won't cost anything for the delivery, and also you won't get any import charges, and it can be delivered to your local store or to your door if you prefer. So you're not wasting any of your winnings on shipping and import duties, because if you spend 400 quid of the stuff on and have it imported like to your country, you'll be spending an extra 200 quid just to pay the import duty. So anyway, when scenery doesn't sound so bad, says Agdemonic. Yes. Poopy Scout Bike, says Retro Rabbit. Hey Rabbit. Yeah, I hate the Scout bikes. Right, so let's have a look. So player number 1 is This one that looks like he's doing something suggestive, if there was, because his hand's not there and you can't see that arm, and he's stood. It looks like he's having a wee or doing something a bit more rude, perhaps. This, I don't like that one. He's doing a rude thing. Mum, he's doing rude. He's not even. Is it even numbered? Oh, wow. The parts are numbered, but they don't even bother numbering them in the instructions because they're kind of obvious which is which. Yeah. Yeah, it's Retro Rabbit says, I won't read that out, Retro, but yeah, pretty much. It looks like he's cranking one out. Let's just put it that way. It's, yeah, a bit suggestive. So we'll put on my other glasses so I can see. Or as Ted would say, if the button worked. Oh, gosh darn it. Hang on, let me fix the button. Come on, Ted. Wake up, lad. Hang on. Button fixing protocol. One moment. Please hold. Please hold. Pressing buttons. There we go.
Slap it on.
There you go. The joke's completely dead by this point, but never mind, eh? There you go. From Goblin Gaming, you can get some fantastic miniatures from Warlord Games too. Highly recommended. Yes, Goblin Gaming, they are my affiliate store. They do help me out massively. 20% off Games Workshop. My brain's gone. Games Workshop. Something and something else. It's brilliant. I'm such a great affiliate. Games Workshop, Conflict 47 and Malifaux. And massive savings on other things like Warlord Games. If you want a bit of bolt action fun. I tell you what, that bolt action, yeah, I could be tempted. Not right now, because now is not the time to be spending money, but because I have got any. Now is not the time to be spending money, but I could be tempted at some point. Maybe later in the year to maybe get some bolt action. I like the look of the Germans. Heroic scale, World War II. I could be up for that. What was I talking about? No idea. It's gone already. See, I'm so distracted. Right, so I have no idea what I was actually talking about. I really have no clue. I was in the middle of saying something. Somebody tell me what the hell I was talking about. Fixes button crashes YouTube. Are we not streaming? Are we still streaming? Do tell me. I don't know if we're streaming or not. Let me double check. I will try something. Bookmarks, live dashboard. Are we still streaming? Yes, we are. Yes, good. Lovely. Good. Right, so I'm trying not to wear my space helmet of seeing today because that will kind of fill up half the screen. So I'm going to try and do it from a distance. From a distance. No idea what I was talking about. I know I was talking about something. Eric says, good, neither are we. We never know what you're talking about. Yes. I'm going to have to put my helmet on. I can't see anything. I can't see any detail on this at all. Far too far away. This man certainly is in a most suggestive pose. Most rude. How rude! Oh God, that was I know what impression I just did. I have to go on flagellate myself later on, painfully. Right, there we go. I'm going to put my space helmet on because I can't actually see. But do let me know if I constantly get it in shot, because it's probably just annoying if I get it in the shot all the time. I'm like there and it comes across like that. Let me know. Oh, I can see things now. He's definitely doing something rude. Backpack that has a fan on it. He's basically wearing an air conditioner. You can't see it, but see if I can zoom in for you. His backpack is basically a box with a fan in it, like an AC unit, which means his entire backpack is purely designed to be a fan and the housing, which is weird. I'm going to stay zoomed in a little bit for you so you can see things. But the quality is kind of bish, so. Right there. A little bit of nubs. I'm going to zoom back out again. Not like being zoomed in because the quality drops to you guys. Oops. Downside of non-optical zooms. Buy Warlord, pay my wage, says Kevin Rent, says Cy Reynolds. Yes, can you now guess where Cy works? Yeah. Go. So let's do it on camera, dear. Nubs need a little bit of trimmage. Yes, so anyway, yeah, so going back to the thing, yes, I am isolating on quarantine, but it's not because we're ill. So I am actually fine. I'm not in any health issues. Just for extra carefulness, basically. But I'm not engaging with the outside world, which is not any different to normal, really. A little bit more isolated than normal. But like I said earlier on today, the whole point of these streams really is it's not like I've got nothing to do. Of course I've got something to do, but much more fun to share doing something with other people. And as none of us have that option right now, most of us, at least this way, you're stuck at home, you know, nothing to do. Come on here, listen to me waffle and a bit of a laugh in the chat. I'll do as many of these as I can. I'll keep them going for as long as I can. But that's basically looks like it's like a Tommy gun, but with a bit of a las rifle going on. Interesting weapon. I'm not going to worry about the little nubs on the bottom of the thing here because that goes under the base. That's in the slaughter base, so I don't really care about that. Little nibble there. Does it need that little nub? That attach. Is that even the right arm? Yes, it's the right arm. It's also the right arm. Oops. Okay, that goes on there like that, right? Okay. So, not many mould lines on this. It's very weird plastic as always. It's not Games Workshop plastic. Was my thing in the shot again. Like it's a guten and alles Abend. Guten Abend, mein Herr, mein Freund. Okay, a little bit of a nub there on his elbow, on his shoulder, whatever the part of the arm that is. Shoulder. Hopefully you're all good and dandy. I hope you're all well. Staying indoors and away from everything, basically. What we can talk about. What can we talk about, folks? No politics, no religion, but what can we talk about? Because I've already run out of ideas. I need my scrapey tool. Downside of doing more than one stream in a day is you run out of something to talk about quite quickly. And I can't remember. It's still bugging me what I was in the middle of talking about when I forgot what I was talking about, because I've kind of forgotten, and it's kind of annoying. So, yeah, there's that. Now, I've got to be honest. You can tell these are generic grunty type troops, because although they look good, you know, there's nice detail all over them and things like that, but you can tell quite a lot that they're generic cheapy troops because of the idea that this arm is moulded in and it's just flat underneath. It's not like a separate arm. There's no gap under the arm. It's just like a generic single flat piece, which is a bit pants because you can see it's a flat piece. Where the arm will be a cylinder and there'll be a gap underneath, there isn't. It's just extruded into the body. That's a bit cheap, really. A little bit cheap. In terms of design, I mean cheap as in money. I mean it's a bit cheap and tacky. It's not quite what you'd expect from GW, especially when you got like, you know, your average Cadian guardsman is a 20-year-old mold and he's got separate arms and everything. It looks really nice. Even they look nice, but this is a bit. It's like that and the arm, and then you've got that's your entire figure. It's a bit. I don't know what. I know they were supposed to be the easy to make ones, but there's easy to make, and then there's just like half-assed. Yes, I was saying though, yeah, Goblin Gaming, 20% off Games Workshop, Malifaux, and Conflict 47, but massive savings on everything else basically. So if you are looking for stuff to keep you busy over the coming weeks, I know they were sending deliveries out yesterday because I saw somebody thanking them for a delivery. And they're still putting videos up, so I assume they're still open and going. So if you're looking for stuff to do, and you want to get some of your tabletop stuff on, either Warhammer or something else, give the guys at Goblin a shout. Again, use the link in the description below this video. Don't just go to their website. It doesn't cost you any more, but it tells them that I sent you, and I get a bit of income from that. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you're more traditional model making, your planes and ships and tanks and stuff, then use the emodels.co.uk link in my description. They're my sponsors. Again, they're in and they're open and they're sending stuff out. Hit them up as well. Stock up on stuff to do because we're going to be here for a while. But yes, my plan was, like I said, if you were here earlier on in the earlier stream, you'll have heard all this before, but my plan was to find a brush bits. My plan was to get the Silver Templars done this week, have that done, and then next week would be the big perfect grade Millennium Falcon. But sadly, events have obviously overtaken us, and I haven't. Although I've assembled the Silver Templars, I've not painted them, and that can, to be quite honest, that they can wait. So next week I am starting, regardless, I am starting on the perfect grade Millennium Falcon, which is an E-Models build. An E-Models build, an E-Models build, an E-Models build, an E-Models build. That's an E-Models build, but it'll be on my channel as well, because I want to get that done. And the frustrating thing at the moment for me personally is that the last sort of 7 or 8 months I've struggled a lot because part of my, I do this for a living, and part of my income has been doing builds and then selling them. It usually goes quite well, that, but because of various reasons I've not been able to do that. I've obviously been working on George's Sazabi, which is, you know, not something I can sell because it's George's Sazabi. I've now got the E-Models build of the Falcon, which again I can't sell when it's finished. But I was thinking to myself last week, I was thinking, you know what, I've just finished George's Sazabi. I thought I'll get the Falcon done, and then happy days, I can do things. I can get my Bane Blade done and sell that, and then I can maybe do my Macarius Vanquisher and sell that because I need the money. And I'm having all these great ideas of just getting back at the bench and doing some builds, and then all this happened. But basically now, once the Falcon's done, yes, I can build what I want. I can't sell anything because I can't post it anywhere. So, great plan kind of fell over there a little bit. So, yeah. So coming up after the Falcon, there'll obviously be lots of interesting things, many of which I will eventually put up for sale, like Bane Blade. I'll probably build my... I probably will sell the Macarius Vanquisher just to build it and sell it, and then I can always get another one. I think that'd go quite well as a Deathcore tank, so I'll probably get that sold, but it'll be later in the year because, like I say, I can sell them, I just can't send them anywhere. Because right now is not the time to be posting expensive things anywhere in the coming months, because A, there's no guarantee I'll ever get there, because half the people might not even be in any courier company or the post office or wherever I send it. So, and I can't go out the house, so oh well, never mind, I'll carry on regardless. I was just getting hopeful that I could sort myself out. Some money coming in, and then everything went pants. Charlatan Triple X says, did you already paint some scenery issues? It would be interesting to see the comparison to the manual. No, I did start doing some painting videos of these. Originally what I was doing was I'd get the issue. The plan was to get the issue, get it built up, and then for most of it paint as it says in the magazine, and just do that paint job. So it was more like a visual alternative to following the magazine. But I quickly, and then some of them I would do a proper paint job on, like some of the more specific things like scenery and vehicles and some of the main character figures. But I quickly realised it was an absolute waste of time, because all I was doing was parroting the magazine. It was taking a long time and no real. I wasn't really teaching or tutoring anything. I was just telling you what the magazine said, which you can read by just following the magazine. So what I'm doing now is I've stopped painting. I'm getting everything built. Once everything is built, I will strip all the ones that I've already painted to the magazine standard, get them stripped down, and then I will paint everything properly rather than following the magazine. And I'll do episodes on the different things, not an episode per model, but you know, an episode for different things. Like I've said before, I won't do like there's 25 or 30 Space Marines. I'll do a Space Marine video, you know, generic Space Marine. I'll do separate videos for things like, you know, Lieutenant Calcium and some of the librarian and things like that. But for the generic Space Marine, the generic, you know, Primaris Interocitor or whatever he is, I'll do one episode. For the Death Guard, I'll do episodes for all the main characters like the Tallyman and the Pox Blubulon and the other ones. But for the generic Plague Marine, I'll just do one because you can apply the same technique to all of them. Otherwise, I'll do a billion episodes. It'll take forever. So yeah, and then we'll do things like episodes for the vehicles. But it means what I'm going to basically do is get everything built first over the next few months. And then once I've got everything built, I can then start filming the paint process for each of them. But they'll be proper paint jobs, not the... I was saying earlier on, if you follow the magazine, if you've never painted before, and you're not a model maker, you're not into your painting, you've never painted before, the quality level in the magazine is all right. It's okay. It's low-end tabletop quality. If we assume that, like, say, the Warhammer TV stuff is not the current stuff, but the original proper Duncan painting things properly, Warhammer TV, if we imagine that is top-end tabletop quality, then the magazine is like low-end beginner tabletop quality, which is fine. It still looks better than, you know, unpainted plastic or just primed plastic. A million times better than that. This is tricky and fiddly. But if you want to go better than that, then I'll show you how to paint better than that. We'll do things like proper weathering and things. Stuff that the magazine doesn't show you. Different techniques. Because the thing with Partworks is you have to remember, Partworks are aimed, the target audience for Partworks, people that don't make models. That's you know, for model Partworks, where it's like a model of a ship or a car or a truck or something. Build the Bismarck or make the Ecto-1 or whatever. For those kind of things, it's not aimed at people that actually want to make the model because they're model makers. It's not aimed at them at all. It's aimed at people who just like making things but have not made models before. It's aimed at them. So that's why they come like pre-coloured, pre-painted. Things like that. I didn't drill his barrel out, did I? Oh, Lodge. A very small barrel. I'll have to do that later when it's all dried. It's a very small barrel. I'm going to have fun trying to drill that. Leave them there for the moment. What I do need to do is I need to... I don't know why I'm doing this. I kind of do, but I don't. I need to mark these. These are... What issue is this? This is issue 50. So I need to mark the bases so I know they're from issue 50. I think it's just so... Because I'm storing them all in like skirmish cases and they're all over the place. They're all over the place in the skirmish case. So I think it's just so I can tally them all together. Like the tally man. Let's have a look. A huge thank you, Fox, for all streams like this. It makes dealing with the current situation tolerable. My absolute pleasure. That's why I'm doing it. Because it helps me, don't forget, as much as it helps you guys. Hopefully it helps you guys. As much as it might help you guys, it helps me just as much. So you are more than welcome. I just keep forgetting where the middle of the screen is as well. 50. There's probably no benefit to be doing this really, but hey. Oops. So yes, I will be painting them properly. grown-up paint jobs. I don't know what level my painting skill is. It's probably, if I was to say my level of painting skills, I'd probably say at best, absolute best, top end tabletop. I guess, maybe. Oh, I've dropped one. Hang on. I don't mean I've dropped one. I mean I've dropped one. You know what I mean. Hang on. Oh, use your Dremel when boring out those barrels. I was going to use a chisel, to be honest. I was going to use I've got a big like proper masonry chisel. I was going to use that, to be really honest. Get me Black & Decker out. Osric 9000 says hello. Welcome, Osric. Osric, or even Osric even. Welcome, buddy. Gonna stick him in his base. Base, how low can you go? I'm gonna glue them in because why not? But that slaughter base will eventually get covered over by terrain or texture anyway, so I don't care that you can see a big slot in the base. That's fine. I've done one. How many have we got to do? 10. There you go, that's one. Right, next one. Next. Who's next? Next we have one that's actually covered up, not a bit, so I can't quite see him properly. Brilliant. Because none of the parts are numbered. Which one is it? He's kind of that one, maybe? I think it's that one. Wow, thanks for putting the part numbers in there. That's really helpful. Thanks, Paula. I think it's that one. Yeah, so they're a bit half-assed, these what are they? Chaos cultists. Because they're the easy to build one. I'm using the wrong nippers. They're easy to build, so they're a bit basic. Which is a bit pants. And I need the gun is the one with the cloak over it, which is that one, I think. Yes, this one. Do. I know these are just blob troops, so maybe, but then you think, yeah, but look at Imperial Guard. They're nice. They are old, but they're still nice minis. These barrels are really small. I'm kind of terrified. When I was building the Silver Templars the other day, I had a hell of a time. You know, normally like you'll do some barrels and like one or two of them will be off, and the rest will all be spot in the middle, and you'll make a mess of one or two of them. Every single barrel I did was an absolute cluster flange. Every single one was like, it was off, it was in the middle. One of them I actually went through the sides. I had to snip the barrel off and get the barrel from a spare gun. Because I made such a mess of it. So, I have no doubt that I will screw up these barrels. Let's find out, because they're really small. Let's find out. My first barrel, like and subscribe. Now, there are 23 of you watching. So welcome. There are not 23 of you chatting though. So if you're watching this on a mobile device, you don't have to join in the chat, but it would be lovely if you did, because the whole point of these stuck at home streams is really to build up a little community of people that can all you can give each other company, have a good time. Because there's nothing worse than being stuck at the bench for many hours, because eventually you get bored of it. So do pop in the chat, say hello. If you're watching on a mobile device and perhaps you're on a tablet or a mobile phone and you can't see the live chat, maybe not on a phone but on a tablet, you can either download get the desktop site rather than the mobile site. If you're in YouTube or Chrome, I think it is, you can have the option of loading the desktop version of the site. Or on some tablets, if you scroll down below the video player, squeaky, it will actually have the chat under there. That's really squeaky. That's almost in the middle, but not really. I'm not going to enjoy these barrels, am I? I'm I'm going to hate these barrels, aren't I? That's totally. I can't drill any further because it's actually too close to the edge. I can go a bit further. Whoa. I'm going to have to carve it now. Watching you on the big screen, chatting via the phone. And there's also that as well. So if you have got the chat there, do join in. You don't have to. You absolutely do not have to. It's absolutely not compulsory. But it's more fun. Handy tip, if you drill your hole and your barrel, you're not quite in the middle, you can always then carve the other side a little bit to match with your knife, if you're careful. Now, it will look a little rough and ready because you'll have little scrapey bits of plastic. That's where your Tamiya extra thin glue comes in. Well, I can't drill any deeper, unfortunately, so I can't quite get the right shape because I was too close to the edge. It's going to look a little rough and ready. But when you've drilled it out, or when you've scraped it out with the blade, just run a little bit of extra thin, not much, a tiny amount. Get most of it off of the brush over the bit you've just cut. And what you'll find is that will smooth off any rough edges. I know you didn't see any of that because it's a mile away for you, but it will smooth off any rough edges. And make everything look nice and smooth. Because Tamiya extra thin is a welding cement, it melts the plastic a little bit. So if you've got a rough edge where you've sanded or you've scraped with the knife, especially a barrel, just get your brush. Extra thin is the best glue. Get most of the glue off so it's just moist. And then just run it over the edge and around the barrel, and it'll just soften those edges, dissolve the excess fluffy bits, and it'll look nice and smooth. So I can see here, you can't see there, but it's not very deep, but I've managed to carve it out to make it look like a circle. It looks like it's in the middle, and it looks like a proper barrel now. So there you go. Carl Bloomer, hello. Welcome, Carl Bloomer. Welcome, my friend. Come join in the fun. Stabity time, says Eric Graham. Denied. Candy Graham for Mongo. Hello again, everyone. Or hi again, everyone, he says. Welcome. Charlotte and Triple X says, and with German word correction, typing with the mobile is quite scheiße. Das ist richtig. Hi Eric, Dad, I am happy to report, says Candygram, that your dad device has been getting a lot of use lately and is performing swimmingly, thanks again. Yes, dad device. This is one of my dad devices. Dad device. Because it is for the paints on the shades. Yes. I should stop doing this, because every time I do this, Dad gets forced to make 100 more of them for people. Right now, I probably would say don't ask Dad for one because you're asking him to go outside and post it, and that's bad to make him go outside where other people are. Anybody, don't be sending things out. In fact, I meant to say to your Dad, that conversation we had earlier on about the camera, you probably don't want to do that because it means you're going out, and I don't want you going out if you're on isolation. I'm lucky because my post box is right at the end of my avenue, so if I need to, I can pop out the house, go to the post box and back in again. Like in 10 seconds, but yeah, it's no use for parcels there. You're very welcome, Candy. Glad it's of use, says Dad. Dad, your dad device is the most useful thing I've ever owned, and I've owned many things that have been useful. Nub, great big nub. Dad's lovely. Everybody likes Dad. Yeah, so anyway, if you are watching and you're not in the chat, do join in the chat. If you can't join in the chat, well, that's a shame. It's really sadness. But don't feel left out. But if you can join the chat, it's very nice. So I've got the chat here in front of me on an iPad. So there you go. If I need to join in the chat, I've got my little iPad keyboard. I tell you what, iPad keyboard, 150 or 90 quid or something. Knock off non-iPad keyboard by Omaton. 15 quid on Amazon. Yeah, and it's fine. It's fine. Thank you very much. The only thing about Mac keyboards, why the hell is the quotation is the quotes mark there and at is there? That makes no sense. If I want to do quotes, it should be Mac, and then your Mac keyboards are rubbish. Who puts the quotation marks all the way over there? Nonsense. John Paul, hi all. Welcome, John. Welcome, my friend. How you doing, buddy? How are we doing, folks? How is the video and audio? Am I sounding okay? Am I looking okay? Do let me know. I don't know how long this will go on for tonight. As long as I want, really, basically. The longer I go on for, the later it gets, and of course, the more people I get from outside the UK. Woo! People in foreign climes will come and say hello. But if you are watching and you can see the chat, do come and say hello. They're a lovely bunch. The mods are keeping it safe in there. The thing about the people that watch my streams, there's a great big burp, and all I can taste when I burp then is peppers. Yeah, the thing about the people that watch my streams is they are all lovely. It is so incredibly rare that anything bad happens in the chats on my videos. I literally could count it on the fingers of one hand the number of times there's been any real troublemakers. Given how toxic YouTube can be, I'm incredibly lucky with the people that join in my live streams. I know and I consider myself incredibly lucky for you guys, because you're all awesome. You all behave, more or less. Very little moderate. My mods... Alex, hey Alex. Alex says, hello Fox, sorry but I can't stay long because you're isolated and I can't risk it and I'm hanging out with Dad and Scott. Hey Alex, no worries mate. I know you're doing your normal evening hangout. You go and hang out with those guys, it's fine, don't worry about it. I don't want to stop you hanging out with those guys. But thank you for popping in, I really appreciate it. Give Alex a scritch from me behind the ears. Alex is not Alex. Alex to give a scritch to is a dog, for those that don't know. Doodle-doo. Dad is the man. John Paul says, tried to go live last week and lost my audio after 15 minutes. Sounds a bit bad, that. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. I don't know what the issue would be, to be honest. Ow. That was almost stabberty, but not quite. No skin was broken. Depends what you're streaming with, John, to be honest, and what software you're using. That sounds like a fault of some sort of resetting somewhere. Kenneth's having you on there, Fox, using a different login. I know it was Kenneth. I know that was Kenneth. That's why I said to tell him to give Alex a scritch behind the ears. Do-do-do. Hello again, gang, says Cynical Steve. Welcome, Steve. Retro Rabbit says, not me, I'm incorrigible. Yes, I'm incorrigible. It's different altogether. Right, all keep washing those hands and stop touching your faces, says Nevboat. Thanks for popping in, Andy. Take care of yourself, buddy. And yes, wash those hands. Really want to see those clean pinkies. We've got going on chat, nothing much at the moment. Yes, if you are watching and you've got access to chat, come and say hello. Even if you just say a few words. It's nice. Nice to hang out. Yes, I was planning on maybe doing a little bit of a hangouty stream tonight with perhaps a couple of the guys, but you know, and streaming it for you guys, so it wasn't just me. But yeah, after the measures announced today by the Chancellor, I wasn't in the best of moods. So yeah, I wasn't really in the mood for trying to figure out StreamYard. We'll do it maybe next week. A little sort of hangout thing where it's just a group of us doing stuff at the bench. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. It might just be me doing stuff. Right, so that is... I need to rescribe his gaiters. He's got little puttees on his leg, but the seam line's right down the middle, so I just need to quickly rescribe those back in. Because I have sanded a little bit and he's gone it's a bit smooth. Do let me know if my visor's getting in the way all the time, because I don't know. When I'm looking at my desk, I'm not looking at the monitor, so I know not. Need a less aggressive Sandy. Bye for now, perhaps till later, says Charlotte and Triple X. Thanks for coming in, Charlotte, I really appreciate it. Take care of yourself, my friend. Stay safe, wash your hands. Don't go out and come back later on. I'll still be here, don't worry. I won't be here forever, obviously, because at some point I need to go and do wheeze and poops and sleeps and things. A little bit of scriby. Ooh. Alex says, be strong, Fox. I know things are tough for people, but for your information, I'm not planning on stopping my Patreon support anytime soon. Alex, Kenneth, thank you massively. Just put a massive great... You haven't seen it yet. It'll come up here in a second. He's just put a massive, great super chat through. Thank you very much, Kenneth. I really, 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 really appreciate that. You're an absolute legend, sir. Thank you massively. That's helped me out bigly, that has. I don't get anything from the tip jar, but I do get the income from the super chat, so that's a massive help. Thank you really very much. I really appreciate that. You're a lovely, lovely fella. Give Alex an extra scritch behind the ear. Yeah, that's Kenneth. Alex is his dog. Alex is awesome. Interzone. Hi Fox Dad. Hi all. Is this Warhammer Conquest models? Yes, I am working on the Chaos Cultists. Issue 50. I figured I may as well do some extracurricular Warhammer Conquest to give you guys something to watch and to give. I've got plenty of these to get on with, so it means I've got lots and lots of stuff I can live stream over the coming weeks when there's very little else to do. Zadster, evening dudes and dudettes. Welcome, Zadster. Is that a figure, finished figure, top middle screen? This one. Eric Graham, that one. Yeah, it's the first one I did. Top middle screen. Top middle screen? I've only got one. Top middle. You mean this guy? Yeah. What do you mean that? That's Guthorm. Everybody likes Guthorm. Everybody knows Guthorm. Guthorm's awesome. But yeah, I've done one so far. We've been going for what, an hour? See, a lot of people get frustrated because I take so long to do figures. Because I do so much cleanup. I really go to town with the mould lines and the... Like here, I'm scribing his puttees or his gaiters on his boots. I'm scribing them back in again. A little bit of detail. A lot of people are like, God, just stick the damn thing together. Whoa. Charlatan says, I'm going out with the dog right now, but Berlin is quite empty in the evening. Do make sure there's no one around, Charlatan. If there is, just get the dog to growl at them and send them on the way. Unless it's like a little tiny yappy dog, in which case that might not work. If it's a great big German Shepherd or some kind of big massive dog, just make it go woo, and then they'll all run away really fast. But yes, some people get quite frustrated that I take so long to build things. But now, Cy Reynolds will sympathise with this. There's two ways you can do these things. There's get it built, clean it up a little bit, and paint it. And then there's the kind of golden demon level of nubs and seam lines, and I'm kind of not full on golden demon, but I really am quite antsy when it comes to seams and mould lines and nubs. I really will go to town to try and get rid of them. So it drives some people to distraction, really does, because I take so long. Most people have built 5 of these by now, but I can't let them go. I can't let some of those marks go. They have to be cleaned up. I actually enjoy it. Not so much that, you know, I hate doing nubs, but I like the cleanup when I take an etched detail that's been rubbed flat with sanding, and then I can just scribe it back in again. I'm like, oh, I've created something. It's fantastic. Right, now. J Leon 723, Evening Fox, long time no see, although I was listening in on your earlier stream whilst at work. Sneaky. Ah, you were doing sneaky things. I like sneaky. Super secret stream listening. I like that. Welcome, J Leon 723. You're more than welcome. Nice to see you. Oops. I love fuffing around with mould lines, etc. It makes it look all nice and invisible, said Zadster. Yeah. There's something about taking like a ribbed detail, for her pleasure. Like, say, the little rib detail on top of a plasma pistol, a plasma rifle. Or that bit under there where the grip is on the rifle. And then just carefully get rid of the mould line, and then carefully using your scribing tool to scribe the recesses back in again. Oh, it's so satisfying when you do it and it works. It's the satisfying is when you drill out a barrel and get it spot on first time. It's like, oh yes, he shoots, he scores. Like here. Whoa. That's 2 of you. J Leon 723 just popped 20 quid through. Dude, thank you so much. And Cynical Steve a tenner. Don't spend it all on noms. I can't promise not to spend it on noms, but guys, I can't thank you enough. Massive thank yous. That's quite emotional about that. Guys, thank you. All 3 of you so far, I cannot thank you enough. You are angels. It's helping massively. As you'll know, if you're self-employed and you've watched the thing tonight, you'll know that we've kind of been shafted a bit. So, as self-employed peeps. So yeah, thank you, Mass. I can't thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That will sit and wait in my bank account for necessary moments. Come on, that's incredible. Thank you so much. See, I told you, you guys are just the best. I do have the best. I don't want to say fans or followers because that sounds really egotistical. I'm not anything. I'm no big thing. But community, let's say. Community is a bit less egotistical. I do have the best community by far. You're more than welcome, fella, says Jay Leon. Dudette. I can't thank you all enough. Yeah, I do have the best. Like, you're all really well behaved. You're all awesome. You've all got my kind of dumbass sense of humour, which is fantastic because I'm a dumbass. You've all got my sense of humour. You all get my jokes, which is the best thing ever. And you know what? You are just the best. I can't ask for a better community. I really can't. Don't forget, of course, if you're watching this and you're not already a member, talking of community, I'll put it in the chat for you, assuming the button works. If you're not already a member and you're on Facebook, come and join the Model Makers Boom Hut. It's my group on Facebook, where most of these reprobates in chat are from. It's a safe place on Facebook to post about your builds. You can show off your builds, you can talk about your builds, you can get advice, you can get help. Everybody in there likes it. They're all good mates of each other. There's almost 4,000 people in there now. It's a safe space. We don't allow bitching and snarking and anything like that. We just don't allow it. We don't stand for it. People that come in and do that kind of stuff, they don't last very long. So come and say hello. Come and join in. Come and join the Boom Hut. Especially right now, when we're gonna really be depending on online communities for our, companionship and to keep us distracted from the tough things. Come and join the Boom Hut. There's plenty of groups on Facebook, but most of them are garbage. Let's just be really honest. I'm not going to mention any names. You all know, probably have your own opinions, but a lot of them are just toxic cesspools. We don't allow the Boom Hut to get like that. Ever. Sometimes it happens occasionally. Somebody will start and something will kick off, but it doesn't last very long because we just made them explode. Steve says, no worries, Fox. I'd only waste it on yogurt pots. Lol. Oh, thank you, dude. That's your creativity there that you've spent there. So thank you very much. I'm touched. I'm very, 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 very grateful to both of you, all three of you, to be honest. I'm grateful to all the people who were just watching, because that means so much as well. Remember, if you are watching this and you're not already subscribed, do subscribe. Feel free to subscribe. Give the video a like, even though we're not finished yet. You should always like when you watch a video from someone and you like that channel and you like their content. You should always like their videos every single time, not just once or twice. Every single time you watch a video from a creator that you like their content, always hit the like button. Because if you're not a YouTube creative type, you won't know this, but every time you hit that like button, it means that video appears a little higher in the YouTube searches. It really helps the creator. So if you've got a creator that you love, the simplest way and easiest way and cheapest way you can support that creative to just like every video they put up and subscribe. And don't forget, of course, to hit the notification bell as well. So that way, again, not just on my channel, but on anybody's channel that you subscribe, that you support. That way, every time they start a live stream like this, sometimes I post up about my live streams in advance on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, but sometimes I just press the go button, like tonight. And if you click the bell, you'll get a thing telling you that I've started streaming. And you'll never miss out. So there you go. Two dudes done. Zadster says interstellar warp drive yogurt pots though to Steve. Yeah, if you don't know, Steve's bag is not building kits and painting them. It's just making things from scratch, making spaceships from pots, yogurt pots, and shampoo bottles and junk and stuff. And he's a natural at it. He's got this talent for doing it. Whoa. Osric, 9,000. Spend it on loo roll if you can find any. Dude, I thank you massively. Thank you. Luckily, we're actually okay for toilet roll, bizarrely. Everything, we're depending on Amazon now and online places for orders, and we managed to secure some, so thankfully for a little while. So we got our orders in, but massive thank you. Yeah, can't thank you guys enough. Dazda, you're an absolute angel. Thank you so much. This money will actually just go on food, basically, because we need food to live. There you go. But thank you. Can't thank you enough. Massive, big, happy thank you. Zadster says at and line. I don't know what that means. I think it means something. Is that like a tape dispenser? Is it like a snail? I don't know what that means. Cynical. Oh, I see. Cynical Steve says Zadster. My next build involves a travel coffee mug because I like to make my life difficult because it's metal. Oh, Bogrel. The at symbol and the light is Bog. I like it. Awesome. You get 10 points for that. You get 10 points. Dan Kramer, Miskatonic University podcast. Bit of a pimp there for you. Says the cesspool effect is why I don't go on Facebook in general. I wish there was a way to get to the boom hut without the rest of the site. I mean, you can. I mean, basically the way I use Facebook is I've got my personal profile, obviously, and I just don't use it. I just completely ignore it. I don't look at the feed. Whenever I go to Facebook, I either go directly to, I've got links in my browser, the boom hut, to my other pages. I very rarely go to my own personal page, and I just ignore the feed. I just never look at it. Because Facebook to me is on my personal side, Facebook to me is of no interest whatsoever, because I really can't be bothered with it. Which one's this one now? This is... I've got to kind of guess which figures these are now, because they're not actually numbered in any helpful way. So there's nothing stopping you. Set up a profile. Are these both the same? Oh, they're both the same anyway. Okay. Hello, Fox, idiot. Set up some Boom Hut members have, because they've always like, I don't want to use Facebook, I don't like it. It's like, well, just set up a profile and then never ever use it. Just set up a profile purely to join the Boom Hut. And then all you do is, simplest thing you need to do is set up a profile, don't send friend requests to anybody, ignore all friend requests you get, and just have a shortcut on your browser for the Boom Hut. So you never even have to go to your personal page or your own newsfeed. I just don't look at them. But they are of no interest. If you want to remove the ads on Facebook, use the Facebook Purity add-on in your browser. That's an option. I've got the what's the one I've got? It's got the spanner symbol. I can't remember what it's called. I've had it for years. It's the icon for it is a spanner in the menu. But I can't remember what it's called now. But I've had that for years. I've also got ad blockers and stuff in my browser, so there is that as well. This guy's got a Tommy gun with a drum magazine. That's kind of cool. I like that. But yes, I understand that some people just don't want to use Facebook, and that's fine. That's why I say if you're on Facebook, I'm not going to say you have to do it. Don't forget though, Dan, I think you know about the Discord as well. There is also a Discord for the Boom Hut. I haven't got the link here to post into the chat, but there is a Boom Hut Discord. There's also a Patreon Discord, but there is a Boom Hut Discord, which is open to everybody in the world. You don't have to even be in the Boom Hut, to be honest. But it's an alternative way. If you don't want to do Facebook, go and join the Discord. Totally free. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 a year. I think you can do video if you want to. How's that working now? So there's a nub. There's a nub. Common Road Junction. Hey guys, are we all okay? Hey Common Road Junction, welcome. I may have to try the direct link method, and I'll look into the browser extension too. Thanks. Social Fixer. That's the one I've got. Social Fixer. You can. It allows you to customize the front end of Facebook. So, for example, I can take off all the crap on the left-hand side. You just turn it off. You can say how many posts you want it to load. So look up Social Fixer. It's a Chrome extension. You have to have Chrome. It's a Chrome extension for Facebook. Been going for years. Social Fixer. But yeah, that's one way of doing it. Just set up your profile, but then never look at it ever again. And just have a link for the Boom Hut and any other group. You know, you might join other groups. So just have links for the groups and pages that you want to go to, and don't ever look at your profile. I very rarely ever post on my personal profile. If I do, it's usually by accident, because I post on there by accident when I meant to post somewhere else. But Very, very rare I'll use it. And to the point where the irony is that a lot of my friends, or some of my friends, are people that I follow on Facebook, friends that I know in real life. I follow them on Facebook, but so will Mama Fox. And Mama Fox uses Facebook, personal site, because she's in contact with a lot of people. But she'll actually tell me things that my friends are doing before I know about it, because she's got her own. She follows, she uses it as a personal thing, and she follows people's feeds. Whereas in mine, I never go and look at my personal feed because I have no interest in 99% of the things that people are doing. Because, being perfectly honest, when I joined Facebook, it was when I was doing an online webcomic, and at the time, this was before pages were really a thing. So I used Facebook as a way to communicate with the people that read my comic, which means that for a long time, my Facebook friends, this was like a couple of thousand just furries, because that was the kind of comic strip it was. I'm not a furry, but it was the kind of comic strip that they liked, because I draw animals. But like a million really weird furry types in my friends, and it was like I had no interest in them at all, but I was doing it I could use it to post information to them, to say, go and read the latest strip. But I had no interest in them. So I think I might have cleaned it out after a while, but I just got out of the habit of using it because 99% of the stuff on there was irrelevant to me. I didn't care about it. So, but it means now that, because I never use that Facebook personal page, of course, I never see what my friends are up to, because some of them do use it, and I'm like, I never look at it. So Mama Fox is like, oh, have you heard that such and such has done this? And I'm like, no. Mama Fox will know what my friends are doing before I do. Weird, that. Very weird. Do do ba do ba do do. These guys have all got wicked awesome masks. They look like bandits, like Borderlands bandits a bit. A little bit, not fully, because they've all got kind of cloaks and stuff going on, but they've got a bit of a Borderlands bandit. Dad says, that's what I do with Facebook, just have the boom hut on my own modelling page. Excuse me. Oh, burpage. I mean, I did use Facebook a lot to keep in touch with my brother who lives in the States. But he doesn't use it anymore, so that kind of doesn't happen. That's why Mum got Facebook originally, was so she could communicate with my eldest brother. Because it was an easy way for him to keep in touch with Mum and me. Because, phone calls from the US, not cheap. I think that's there's not a lot of seam line on these. I've got to be honest, although the plastics are really a bit hinky, seam line wise, these guys are pretty clean. Hey Sarge, I like this boy. He smells clean. 10 internet points if you can tell me what game that's from. I like this boy, Sarge. He smells clean. Good God, Fox, there's 2 of you, Eric Graham. There's 3 of us. I've got 2 brothers. But this is the weird thing, right? I am nothing like my brothers. If you were to, if you were to meet all 3 of us, you'd probably guess that me and my eldest brother were related. Just physically, we kind of, you'd be like, we have what we call the family nose, let's say. My middle brother, though, we all reckon there's a potential that my middle brother might be the milkman's son, because it's just, you wouldn't know we were all related. Well, I suppose you would. Now I've got a bit older. As all 3 of us have got older, we've kind of started to kind of look a bit more fit. When I was much younger, we were all much younger, we all looked completely different. Well, me and my elder brother looked similar, but me and my middle brother and my elder brother and my middle brother, he looked totally different to both of us. There was no real connection there. So we swore for many years he was a milkman's son. He's not, obviously, but so it's weird because, like, I'm the kind of hopelessly useless arty-farty faggy-assed artist type with no planning skills, and I just hope things work out for the best. My middle brother is the intelligent, logical one. He got the brains. And my oldest brother is kind of a mixture of both of us. He's got the brains and the arty-farty side. So, yeah, I just got the arty-farty nonsense, pretty much. But yeah, there's 3 of us. It can get quite interesting. Right, so that's that. Oh, is that okay? Yeah, not a lot of seam line on that guy. Cool. That makes life easy. But one brother lives. The barrel on this gun is bent. That's going to be a challenge to drill it because it's actually bent to the side a little bit. There's a stress mark on it. Deep joy. Deep joy. Stressful enough drilling a barrel out. Never mind. Worrying that the thing's going to snap off as well. I don't like that. No, sir, I don't like it. Right, let's go on. Go for it though. Cynical Steve says, I generally use Facebook to keep in touch with the people back home in the valleys. There's lovely. What's occurring? You just put a post up saying, what's occurring? And then that's it. That's the only thing I can say with anywhere reasonably approaching a Welsh accent, apart from, oh dear, how sad, never mind. Home in the valleys and for posting inappropriate jokes. Very rare I add people as friends on there. I have enough. Yeah. Right, this is just going to be an absolute cluster flange now, isn't it? Because I can't get smooth edge on this. I'm worried about snapping the barrel off. Let's just go for it and see what happens. Gonna stick the thing in there and we're going to spin. Oops, no we're not. Spin like you mean it. I'm not drilling down very deep at all into these barrels. I can't afford to. They are very thin and delicate. Oh, it's in the middle. Yes. Almost in the middle. Not quite. Almost. So they're going to be really shallow little drill holes. But, I mean, normally I like to drill the barrel out all the way. On, say, a bolter, I'll drill the barrel out down to the body, to the stock, and then, or to the whatever bit of the body is, and then I'll drill out the side vents. On these, you can't really do that. So I don't need to go too deep because I can just make sure the inside of the barrel is dark or painted black. As long as it's recessed a little bit and you can see there's a recess. Not just a flat surface, that's fine. That's fine. Stick it in, twist it, pull it out, says Cynical Steve. There's love what's occurring. The only thing I can say, even remotely approaching a Welsh accent. Apart from, there's lovely. In the valleys. Somebody text him. Too late. Your dad won't be paying attention because Dad will be in his own. Dad does a group of us, or not a group of us, but Dad does a little private hangout with a group of people each night. Just like, hanging out with his friends. So Dad's probably sidetracked doing that at the minute. There you go. So it's drilled out a little way. Not very much. Drilled out a little bit. It was rough and rough. It was rough and scratchy around the edge. So a little touch of the extra thin, and that will smush all the plastic together. And it's now a little recessed, sort of concave dimple. So that when I paint it, you get some metal on the edge to make the highlight, and the wash will go into the recess. It looks like a barrel rather than just a flat tube. Oh yeah, Zadster says, don't forget the popty ping, which may or may not actually be a thing. It is. A popty ping is a genuine Welsh slang term for microwave. What's occurred in the popty ping? Oh, I can say ambulance. That is the best word ever. What's the Welsh for ambulance? Ambulance. I love it. I know some Welsh words. Popty ping, ambulance, llaff, which means mile. You know that because it's written on the roads. Poblycum, people of the hills, and that's only because there was a soap opera called Poblycum. That was good. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these these easy build dudes, to be honest. I think I like the fact they're easy build because the set these came with were designed for absolute noobs who they just wanted to get younger builders into it, maybe who've got no experience and aren't, hardcore model builders. So I get that. That makes sense. But at the same time, think for some of these, like the ones where they've just got the sleeve that just becomes an extruded detail, for some of these it loses something in the quality somehow. It just loses a bit of quality because, you know, the Games Workshop minis, the figures, they are exquisite. Especially the current stuff. They can be exquisite, the sculpts and molds. The details they have, they are fantastic. But it just seems a shame with these. Like his legs here, they're not separate from the cloak behind, so they just become this merged, nebulous shape, which is a bit of a shame. Because it works as a two-dimensional painting. If you were to paint it and take a two-dimensional photograph, it would work. But as soon as you rotate it around, you're like, oh wait, his leg just stops and molds into the, you know, there's no gap there between the cloak and the, it's like, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. But hey, it works on the tabletop. Property ping means bread house ping. It's sort of made up. Most Welsh words after the 50s are lol. We just put the extra vowels into normal words and Welsh them up by adding all the L's. It's occurring. There's lovely. Oh dear, how sad. Never mind. You know, I'll tell you what, I didn't realise that. It came up in conversation recently. You know, ain't half up, mum. And then people, you know, a load of us went off and I had to go off and find memes of Windsor Davies doing the, oh dear, how sad, never mind, that kind of thing. And I never realised that his name was Sergeant Williams. I suddenly realised I never actually knew what his character's actual name was. I know he was a sergeant, but I never knew his name was actually Williams. This is an awkward one to get in. Doesn't want to go in, not properly. Right, that's going to stick up a little bit, so that'll need to be glued in place and then covered over with some texture paint. Significant amount of texture painting. So one good thing about these slotter bases, they're not brilliant, and it often is just the basic rank and file troops that have them, but I never quite understand what the decision is between which ones get slotter bases and which ones have normal bases. I've never quite figured that out. But the slot sometimes sticks up, but it will be covered up by like terrain, not terrain, but you know, texture paint like mud or whatever texture I decide to put on it. Probably a grell on earth because I love a grell on earth. Thing is, right, with texture paints, a grell on earth. TK's in. Hey, TK. Ambulance worldwide. In Dutch, Ziekenwagen. Yeah, pretty much. I'm sure in German it's like Hilfehaus or something. Hilfehaus. Hilfehausenwagen driven kaputten with this Eigen. Nino. Yeah, some long drawn out word. Yeah, the thing with like the Grell on Earth is, to most of us, we just know it's a crackle paint. But to someone who doesn't make models and doesn't do painting and doesn't know, they look at a Grell on Earth and to them it's the most amazing thing ever. Like, how did? Because they just think it's brown. You painted the Earth. But when you see a Grell on Earth, they're like, how did you do that? My brain is exploding. So, to your average Joe who doesn't know, a Grell on Earth is the most amazing thing ever. Germans just weld existing words together into one new big word. Yep. Cynical Steve says taxi, ambulance, computer, coffee, etc. So taxi in Welsh is TACSI. Ambulance is AMBWLANS, ambulance, because W is an U. Computer is CWM, PWTER. But that means cum, because cum is hill. So that means it's a hill pewter. So that technically doesn't really work, computer, because it's hill. Coffee is just COFFI. Why would they change coffee to COFFI? Why would they not just keep it? Is it because double E is pronounced a different way in Welsh? I know I is pronounced E sometimes, but why not just leave it as coff? I don't understand that. Why respell it? EC Idaho, working on models today as well in Idaho, staying home. Hope you are all well. Welcome, EC Idaho. What are you working on, my friend? What's on your bench? What are you playing with today? Do tell. Oh, I see. You've got 5. I've only just figured out it's the same dudes, and I've got 5 of these and 5 of them. That's why it shows you how to make 5. Because, God, Fox, I can be hard work sometimes. I really can be hard work. Holy crap, I can be hard work. There's no hope for me, is there? No hope for me at all. Krankenwagen, I think, Zadster. That does sound about right. For ambulance in German. Krankenwagen? Would it not be Hilfewagen? Although Hilf is help, isn't it, rather than health? Everybody should just have the Welsh ambulance. Ambulance! It's lovely. Yeah, it's lovely. This one is... Which arm does he need? He needs this arm here. Snip. There we go. Chat not refreshing. Chat not refreshing on my end. Maybe make sure you're on live chat, TK, and not top chat at the top left. EC Idaho is working on the Bandai 172nd T70 X-Wing British RAF Night Fighter colours. I like the sound of that. I'm liking that. Carl from Making Models, who isn't in chat because we've not just announced a giveaway. Normally he turns up just before you give something away. He's not in chat because obviously we're not giving something away. But he did a, I think it was Carl. I could get this wrong now and be completely embarrassed. I think it was Carl that did a couple of snow speeders in RAF and Luftwaffe colours, I think. I could have that completely wrong. I could be just pulling that out my ass. I don't know. Here at this point, he's talking absolute nonsense for all I know. Right, dude number 4. Cashier number 4, please. My friend Tony, my very, very dear friend Tony. Oh, a buildy is nice, but when do you start the painty, says David F. Hey, David. I need to get everything built first. My intention is to do all the building first, get everything built, assembled and ready. I'm currently up to issue 50. And then once everything's built, then I'll start the painty. I have done some painting already, but I was following the magazine, and I've abandoned that plan because the magazine is kind of pants quality, and I want to paint everything properly. Not least of all because the Space Marine Imperial side of it is going off to my friend George. He's getting the Space Marines, I'm getting the Death Guard. I want to give him a proper paint job. So, I've got to get everything built first. Now, I would have said it was going to be towards the middle of the year because I've still got like 30 issues to go, and I was just doing them on Sundays. However, now I'm self-isolating for the next however many months. I could have finished a lot faster than that. So in the coming months, once I've got everything built, I say on my workbench next up this week coming up is the Perfect Grade Millennium Falcon. I'll crack on with these Warhammer stuff when I do these live streams as and when, but I'll be doing a lot more of these live streams, which means instead of just doing things on a Sunday, I'll be able to get them done throughout the week as well as other stuff, so I'll get them done a lot quicker. But once that Millennium Falcon's done, that's an E-Models build, I'm completely free then to do my own stuff forever until the next E-Models build. But that's what I've not had for the last year or so. So it'll be a case then of I can start doing things like this. I do need to start, well, I was going to say I do need to start working on stuff that I can sell. Like I need to make models and build them, paint them and sell them. That's how I make most of my money. My income from selling my builds. But given the current situation and that I wouldn't be able to post them anywhere, that's not really going to happen. So I can then spend time on these in the coming months. Don't worry. Nim, hey Nim. Nim's in. What have I missed? Any stabity? No, none whatsoever. Or standby even either. Nope, no stabity. I've not even messed up a barrel yet. I'm doing drilling barrels. I've not messed one up yet. They've not been brilliant. They've not been pretty, but I've not messed any up directly. Can't get... Oh. I love these drill bits from Games Workshop, but they're a bit round on the tip, which is not ideal. Do. Apologies if my head isn't shot. I don't know if it is. Almost in the middle. Almost in the middle. It's so nice when you go drill, and it's a perfect hole right down the middle. You don't have to do any fiddling with it. But with these, I've just got to tidy them up a little bit. Thanks, Fox. I'm looking forward to it. Yes. Yeah, I will be doing proper paint jobs. I say I did start painting them as they were in the magazine, but I was saying earlier on, I realised I was wasting my time. because as I said yesterday and earlier on, the magazine is kind of low-level tabletop standard. If you imagine Duncan and the Warhammer TV stuff, old stuff, not the new stuff, because the new stuff's rubbish. If you imagine the original old Warhammer TV proper paint guides were like top-level tabletop quality, the magazine is kind of lower, bottom-level, base-level tabletop quality. It's like minimum effort. But it's aimed at absolute beginners, so that's why they did it the way it was. But it was a waste of time. So it's better that I hold back and show you how to paint them all absolutely properly and not as they do in the magazine. Because you can get them much better than that. Right. That is the arm. Stupid autocorrect. I'm one of the few people that don't get to stay home. I'm actually at work now, just early. Oh, that might change though. I mean, it's a bad thing to say. It's not something you want to hope for. But, you know, I know depending on the work you do though, it's food production, so it's one of those vital jobs. Stay safe. My friends, stay safe. I hear Nim, I go back to work on Sunday night, says Eric. See, up until I started doing this, and a brief stint of car detailing and stuff like that, all my work before, up until about 2008, until about 2008, no, until around about 2010, maybe 11, was call centre work. But I was always working for, save for one job, I was pretty much always working for telecoms companies, customer service jobs. So if I was still in that line of work, I'd be an essential worker. I'd be going back to work. I wouldn't be enjoying it because they were all hell on earth. Every single job I had was hell on earth. Pretty much because of incompetent management. Making it a torturous existence. But it was a job and I didn't complain. I've only ever had, in my entire life, my working life, I've only ever had one job that I would say I loved. Apart from that, this is my job and I love doing this. But it's stressful and hard because it's not a guaranteed income. And it's not much of an income at all, to be honest. But it's not like, I've got a pension scheme and a PAY, I've got to do my own tax returns and stuff. It's not that great at this point. But I adore it and I wouldn't change it for the world. But in terms of job where I'm going into an office or something and somebody's paying me and they're doing my PAY and I don't have to do tax returns and I'm not actually, working for myself. I've only ever had one job that I would say I loved. Job, and that was working for, I've said this before, but that was working for a company that did social care, elderly social care. They were social housing. I don't know about other countries, but here in the UK, you've got things called social housing, which is where you get, not council housing, it's basically, you'll get a complex of flats or apartments. I know you get similar things in other countries, but in this country, you get like a big complex. It's all apartments. And basically, people retire, they'll get old and wobbly, and they'll sell the house and they'll go and live in one of these. And they're really nice, but it's basically warden controls. You have the building, you have a warden that lives on site and looks after the community, and each of the properties has pull cords all around the room, because these people in their 80s, 90s and older, and they have pull cords. If they fall or if they need help, they can pull the cord and it comes through to a call centre. And that's the job we did. We were in the call centre, the care centre. So one of the residents will, pull the cord. It's not a duplex. It was a duplex system. Basically, we had a pedal on the floor, and they come through on the computer. They talk to us. We press the pedal and talk to them. We take our foot off, and they talk back. It's like a kind of communication system. They weren't phoning up, but it was like a comm system. And they could be anywhere in the country. And I love that job because the people I worked with were great. It was a small company, so it was a nice atmosphere. But it was actually doing something good. Doing something worthwhile. It wasn't just talking to morons who don't understand their phone bill for their business. Or talking to some mouth breather who doesn't understand why I can't give him the pay-per-view boxing, even though because he owes us 200 quid on his last 5 bills, and he's not having everything, thank you very much, till he pays it. It was actually helping people. Sometimes it was just fun stuff, sometimes it was emergency calls, sometimes it was very sad. There were good times, there were bad times. Sometimes, you know, your heart would break with some of the conversations you'd have. But I was doing something good. I was helping people out. It was worthwhile. It was a nice place. I was working with great people, and I was doing something worthwhile. I wasn't just answering calls about phone bills for numpties. And I missed that job. That was a good job, that was. But it's long gone now. Technically half duplex, says Zadster. Yeah, it was like they pull the cord and they wouldn't have to press anything. They'd just talk. But we'd push the pedal at our end to transmit to them, and then take our foot off the pedal to hear them. Since Dad is busy and Nim has already answered it, what's on your bench and what's in your belly, says Eric. Dad did actually ask it well earlier on in the programme, but Dad's off hanging out. Oh, Dad's there. He did ask it earlier on. Dad's actually probably doing 2 live streams at once now, so we have to give Dad points for actually doing 2 live streams. Nim is exempt from food service. Interesting of how our perceptions of whose job matters has changed almost overnight, says Zadster. That's true. Cynical Steve, if I didn't work, people would have no broadband and then they'd have to talk to their families, which would be terrible for sure, so I'm happy to serve, lol. Nim says, bench, since I probably missed it, bench, my Ninja Altron Gumpler and my Musha Gundam both need decals and touch-up of paint, belly, grilled cheese on wheat, and turkey chili. Ooh. That's, yeah, people wouldn't be able to order food. The lurgy would spread much faster. Cynical Steve says, bench is a freshly primed half a dreadnought. Belly was a Mediterranean vegetable quiche and thrice cooked chips. Not a big fan of quiche. Not really. I'm not a big fan of anything with egg in it that isn't just egg chopped up in a cup. Oh, if you've never had... Is there anybody in chat who has never had egg chopped up in a cup? Tell me. I'll tell you how to make it. It's very simple. I'm not in a stream. You always have my attention, Foxlaw. I thought you were hanging out with Kenneth and that lot in the dad stream. Big Charlie's Model Garage, nice bill. Welcome, Big Charlie. Rabbit Studios, belly, tacos, bench, Faz Verkar. Faz. Dad says, blech. Belly, chili, and popcorn. I'll say it like he's put 2 separate words. Belly, chili, and popcorn. I don't know how those 2 go together. Chili, popcorn. I don't know how you would. I like it. I would eat it. I just never thought of combining chili and popcorn. Chili and nachos, yeah. Chili and chip. And bench scenery diorama. Cool. Dad stream's done. Finishes at 10:15. Oh, okay. I thought you guys hung out all night. I was going to say something. What was I going to say? What was I talking about? I've got no idea. I got distracted. I can't remember. Probably vastly interesting what I was about to say, and I've forgotten whatever it was. So I can't remember, Captain. It's gone from my brain. It's near there. It's just gone. I'm an idiot. Oh, I can't quite get my sandy thing in there. Oh. Downside of sanding sticks is getting into little spaces where sandpaper would fit and sanding sticks don't. Chopped eggs in the cup. There we go. Yes, chopped eggs in the cup. Well, if for anybody who's interested, because nobody answered the question, is that some crazy British delicacy that everyone hates outside the UK? No, it's something that my dad used to make all the time, and I didn't know anybody else even knew what it was. I think a couple of people have said they knew what it was. Trust me, if you like eggs, it's really nice. All you do, dead simple, get yourself a cup, but not like a normal cup, like a mug, right? Ideally a really thick one. I don't know why, it just has to be a really thick one, but a mug, coffee mug, anything like that. Not a Ponzi cup. It's all tall with the Ponzi chan. A mug. An E-Models mug. An E-Models mug. An E-Models mug. It's not an E-Models mug. It's not an E-Models mug. Nice mug. Anyway, what you do is you get your egg. The egg. Get 2 eggs. 2 the eggs. That's 1 egg and another egg. You want 2 the eggs. And what you do is you hard boil the egg and you hard boil the other the egg. That's 2 the eggs hard boiled. And what you do is you put them in, you get them in the cup. You get yourself some salad cream and you go big blob of salad cream, nice little sort of big pile of salad cream. You get yourself some mayonnaise and you go in the bottom. Get a squeezy bottle, otherwise it won't make that noise. So you've got a blob of salad cream and a blob of mayonnaise. Trust me on this. Trust me. It sounds bad, but trust me. Then you get your 2 eggs. You put them in the cup. You get yourself some salt and pepper. I did add to taste. I don't like pepper, but I do chop it up in the cup. And then you get yourself a knife and you go like this. And you chop the living crap out of it. Not a sharp knife, just a normal like butter knife or something, just a rounded whatever knife. And you do this and you chop it and you chop it and you chop it and chop it for ages and you mix it in. And what you end up is just egg chopped up in a cup, basically. The name is there. But it's got if you don't want to do mayonnaise and salad cream, you can do salad cream and butter. Salad cream, the nicer one is a salad cream in the bottom and then a chunk of butter and mix that and chop that in. And that's egg chopped up in a cup, and it's really nice because then you get some bread, not toast, it could be bread. Get bread, and you get a little piece of bread, take a piece of bread off like that big, and you make a little tiny sandwich of egg chopped up in a cup, and you eat it. Then you rip off another piece of bread, and you make little tiny sandwiches as you go along. Great, and it makes eggs taste fantastic. Trust me. Nim says, so egg salad. Could be, I don't know. I don't know what egg salad is, but to me, Dad used to make it when I was a kid. It was the best thing ever. It was egg chopped up in a cup. My dad had this amazing ability to name things really unimaginatively. Yeah, we had a meal in this house. Now to this day, we don't know what it was because he never really told us, and he passed away 20 years ago now, and we never had the recipe written down. But we had a meal in this house called Dad's Mess. It was just called Dad's Mess. It was basically a whole mess of different stuff chopped up, mixed in with rice and splonked onto your plate. It was just Dad's Mess. What's for dinner? Dad's Mess. Oh, yes. I think my brother tried to figure it out and got close. But we've all tried our own way to make Dad's Mess and failed miserably over the years. I like the pose of that guy. Let me zoom in on this guy for you. Hang on. I like when GW give you somebody walking and they do that thing with the leg where one leg is tilted back like that. Because it just looks, when you look at the shape of their kind of square toe look that they have on their figures, it's a really nice pose there. Nice and simple. I like the way they do feet. I really like the way they do feet. Anyway, yeah, Dad's Mess. So it was literally, it was basically rice and you'd have maybe leeks chopped up and you'd have bits of, we don't know what the meat was. This is the thing. It might have been. It wasn't spam and it wasn't peck, but we don't know what it was. It was some kind of processed block of meat that you chop into little cubes, but we don't know what it was. It was some kind of perhaps pork meat, but not peck. And it was all, and a bit of onion and it was grilled, but we don't quite know what it was. Let's have a look. When Eric Graham said belly, chili and popcorn, and I was like, I don't know how that goes together, and he says, I don't either, but that's what I had, but not together. Oh, okay, I thought you had chili and popcorn together. I'm less impressed now. You shouldn't have said that. You should have said, yep, chili and popcorn, figure it out. Should have left it as a mystery. Okay, that guy with the awesome pose, now you actually put him on a stand, he's leaning forward, he looks a bit dumb now, so yeah, not quite as cool anymore. Dad's Mess. Yeah, so we never did quite figure out how he made it, what the ingredients were, so we've never been able to reproduce it, sadly. It died with him. Took it to the grave. Yeah. I love it as well. Can't remember what the meat was. It wasn't peck. But it was some kind of processed pork meat. It might have been luncheon meat. I don't know. I don't think it was luncheon meat, but it might have been. I don't think it was spam, because we were never really a spam house. It's like a German word. Spam. Willkommen auf dem Spamhaus. Willkommen auf dem Spamhaus. It was like a Kraftwerk song. Spamhaus. Right, that's that one. What's that? Oh, there we go. Be right back. Going to the rec room, putting Fox on the big TV. Says Retro Rabbit Studios. I'm on the big telly. Hello. Hang on. Hello. Hello. I can't see if I do it that way. Can I get underneath the camera? Hello. Oh, you're all upside down. Oh, that was actually quite difficult to do that. Probably not even worth it. That mug looks very empty. Yeah, I've run out of coffee. I've only got water now. Never had it in, but I'm thinking I'm going to try it tomorrow. Chopped egg in a cup. Dan Kramer says, Belly, cheap mac and cheese. The best mac and cheese is cheap mac and cheese. Bench, nothing I can work on. Just had rotator cuff surgery and I can't lift my right arm. So frustrating. Can you play video games? Or can you get into a position where you can play video games? TK says, FFS, baby crying. Be back later. Take care, buddy. Bless her. Egg mayo, says Dad. No, it's... Oh... Dad's... No, it's not Dad's mess. It's chopped up egg. It's egg... Oh, you get me flustered now. It's egg chopped up in a cup. Egg mayo. Oh. M. Shane, Jay's models and stuff. Sour cream bath. Is that salad cream or sour cream, says Dan Kramer. Salad cream. Proper British salad cream. So it gives you... If you use salad cream, it gives you that little vinegary kick, but it also gives you a little sweet twinge, which if you mix it with an enormous chunk of butter, it works really well. Got the burps. Excuse me. Dad doesn't make messes, says Eric. Dad says only red ones. Yeah, but when Dad makes messes, Dad doesn't often make... I can clear my throat. Hang on a sec, guys. There we are, I'm back now. Dad doesn't often make messes, but when he does, they're exceptionally good. Poops, unstable signal on the big TV. Why? Why? Have you not? Is it a smart TV with a YouTube app? Do you have a console that you can, a games console that can have run the YouTube app? Cynical Steve said, we used to have bread and sniff it, which meant there was no in for tea other than dry bread. Nobody bloody miners strike. Yeah, bread and sniff it. I like that. Yeah, when we were kids, I am old enough to remember having dripping butties. I remember dripping butties. Not often, but occasionally. Because we weren't rich as kids, as a family, when I was a little kid. We weren't wealthy or anything, so. Bread and dripping. Very northern, that. Terrifying, very, very terrifying, says Eric Graham. I guess that was me looking up the camera. Salad cream heart, says Zadster. Dan says, I only have a PC, so games are limited. Ah, maybe not then. I can play Fallout 4 for a couple of hours before the ache makes me stop. Maybe not then. Maybe not. That sucks, dude. But I suppose at the end of the day, it's better to have had the surgery, have it fixed, and struggle for a little while than not have the surgery and still have the rotator cuff issue. So I suppose it's better than just not having it fixed. Beef dripping on toast, says Dad. Yeah, I used to love dripping butties. They were better than lard, but lard butties was just like, it was more like it was like eating soap on toast. It was horrible. But dripping was great because it tasted like meat a little bit. It's a smart telly with YouTube, just maybe a bad signal tonight. Ah, could be. Sean Wiles. Dripping butties was a thing in the Midlands, but we had salt on it to make it more healthy. Yeah, because that totally counteracts the fact you're having a fat sandwich. Put salt on it. It'll counteract all the horrible fat. A bit of curry powder mixed in with the egg and mayo goes well on a sandwich. Ooh, says Angus Salad. Never thought about that. I think I did put... Oh, somebody was asking about toilet rolls earlier on, and I was saying we're fine, we've got loads of toilet rolls. We are reaching a crisis point now. We're about to finish our last loaf of bread. So we're going to be without bread for a few days. But I can live without bread, that's fine. Not a problem. Don't really care about bread. But the big problem is I'm about to run out of my little jar of Schwartz paprika. A little paprika thing, Schwartz spices. It's about to run out. That's major crisis time. I put paprika on everything. Everything. I discovered it and now I like it. Yeah, I'm about to run out of paprika, which is a bit sad. It's a bit of sadness. Do you know what I didn't do? I did. I thought I forgot to drill his barrel. Drill your barrel, lads. Drill your barrel. I forgot to drill his. I forgot to drill it. Yeah, so I'm running out of paprika. So never mind. I've got like 6 months worth of coffee because we got Mama Fox was doing an Amazon order, and I asked her to get some more coffee. I like the Dow Egberts Gold coffee. So she didn't get a jar. She got the big, like, industrial tin. I've got like 1 billion I've got about 7-8 months of worth of coffee. Mama Fox has got like 1,000 tea bags. So we're good for tea and coffee, but bread we don't really mind. But yeah, paprika's running out. It's like, oh, das ist nicht richtig. Let's have a look. Sausage casserole tonight, made of random sausages, says Osric 9000. Oh yeah, they're the best. We've got a whole load of sausages in the freezer, different flavors like pork and apple. There's some, there's other flavors. There's a steak. I managed to snag when I last went to the supermarket and people were like panic buying toilet rolls and pasta. Although the only pasta they didn't buy was gnocchi and whole wheat spaghetti, but I understand whole wheat spaghetti because it's foul. But all the gnocchi was untouched. But the one thing they didn't buy was sausages. It was really weird. And it was like, you walk up to the, like, I got some tin, they had like 3 cans of tin tuna and like 1 billion cans of tin salmon. Nobody wanted tin salmon, everyone wanted tin tuna. But yeah, nobody was touching sausages. There was billions of them. So I was like, okay, I'll have some sausages then. You think if people are, panic buying, they buy sausages left, right and centre, but no, nobody was. It's really weird. People that shop in my local Tesco's, they're clearly just idiots. I stood there, right, and I stood at the pasta counter because I thought I'll just get a couple of bags of, couple of bags of penne or something, or macaroni, just something to make some pasta dishes. I need to pick stuff up that would sit in the cupboard because I can't leave the house, really. And I said if you didn't see at the start, I am self-isolating, but not because of having any illness of any kind that we won't mention directly in the chat, please, because I don't want to get demonetized. Purely because Mama Fox is at risk, is vulnerable and at risk, so I can't afford to pass anything on to her, so I can't just pop out to the shops, basically. So I thought I'll get some dry. I didn't go crazy, I didn't binge panic buy, but I knew I wanted to get lots of tinned dried stuff just because it needs to last us for months. I'm stood there at the pasta counter and there's nothing. There's like 100 packs of gnocchi, which I grabbed some of those, and like a big shelf full of the whole wheat spaghetti that nobody likes. And this woman's there and she's on the phone saying there's absolutely no pasta at all, nothing. There's nothing, the shelf is up, there's nothing on the shelves, nothing. I'm thinking, well, there's gnocchi and there's whole wheat. I mean, whole wheat spaghetti is pretty bad, but when you want pasta and there's nothing else, it's not the end of the world. No, there's nothing at all here. There's nothing of human consumptionable on this shelf. I'm like, wow, you really are not quite getting the idea of this whole thing, are you? Never mind. Now this is a really small barrel on this pistol. I'm probably going to screw this up. Let's find out. That's not in the middle. Remind me not to do Chaos Cultists again. Barrels are a nightmare. This barrel is barely bigger than the actual drill bit. I've got smaller drill bits, he says, suddenly realising that after he starts drilling. Oh, he shoots, he scores. That might actually be the first well-drilled barrel I've done tonight. Yo, beauty! That is spot on, I think. To quote Mr. Crosby, straight down the middle. Oh, it could be the other guy. Pretty much spot on. Perfect. I like that. Well done. Can't believe I just did that perfect thing of the thing I hate. Right, there we go. That's his barrel dealt with. Nimcinderin, you guys are talking about these strange foodstuffs that is making me wonder how the British Empire was a thing. All the weird things that we eat, we stole from everybody else. Pretty much, we stole it. Most of our national dishes were stolen from like, India. Let's be honest. Most of the stuff we eat, we stole it from India. Dan Kramer says that's why they expanded. They need to absorb other places' recipes. Loads of sausage rolls left in Morrison's yesterday too, but no sausage. No tea bags, but Lidl had loads of them. Yeah, nobody likes sausage rolls. Seducer's in. He says, my local Tesco had a lot of empty shelves except the vegan food. There was plenty of that. Yeah. And you know how you knew it was vegan? Because everybody watched buying from those shelves told you very loudly. Like the old joke. How do you know there's a vegan in the room? Oh, don't worry, they'll let you know. I waited 8 days for an Asda delivery. I placed it, and on the delivery day they cancelled the order, says Beckstorm. Yeah, it's possible. I put a load of stuff in. When I go to Asda now, it's basically Asda. It's sorry. When I go to Amazon now, it's basically Amazon fulfilling it, or Morrison's. And I put some stuff in the Morrison's basket, and it said, "Okay, that's fine, but there are no delivery slots today. There's no more delivery slots. You'll need to check back. We refresh our delivery slots at midnight." So I'm like, okay, I'll leave the stuff in my basket. I'll come back at midnight and I'll see if I can do the eBay sniping thing and secure myself. I'm about to glue that on. I've not even done the seam lines yet. Secure myself a delivery slot. Came up at midnight, and my basket was empty. Sorry, the stuff you put in your basket is not in stock anymore. I'm like, oh, and you know why? Because it's not yours till you check it out, as Ted says. I forgot that. So all this stuff I put in my basket had gone. I'm like, oh. And then it was out of stock. So we do have some stuff ordered that we placed the order with Tesco. We've got an order with Tesco that's not due till the 6th of April. Placed early this week. But we've also got some stuff that was ordered for the next day. I was able to go into Asda and order the stuff. Sorry, the next day, the day after, I was able to go into to Amazon and get the stuff that I'd ordered from Morrison's and get it delivered the next day. So it comes and goes. It depends when you order it. But if people stop freaking out and stop panic buying, then it'll go back to normal. But it's because people are idiots. I think if they don't buy this now, then they're all going to starve to death. You're not. Just do your normal weekly shop. Shut up. It'll be fine. Don't worry. You're not going to die of starvation. I've got a gnarly seam line on this foot here. Your foot has a gnarly seam line, sir. I must correct it for you forthwith. A bit of carve. There's going to need a bit of carving, this. Retro Rabbit says, a vegan, a crossfitter, and a pagan are in a room together. Who talks first? Oh, good question. You also missed out a runner and a cyclist. The kind of people that they take up this, you know, the people that if you look at their Facebook page, all they ever do is post about, you know, cycling, CrossFit, running. Like, oh God, shut up. I've actually muted people's, you know, people I know in real life, I've muted their feeds, Facebook feeds. I'm not that I check them anymore anyway, but, yeah, I've muted their feeds because I got fed up of the same thing being posted all the time. Running or CrossFit. It's like running. You're posting about running. You realise you're just doing running. It's just running. It's just like walking or breathing. Very good. But for everybody else, it's just really boring. Yeah. It's true though, isn't it? You get certain things that people do that they just don't shut up about. CrossFit. Running. Cycling. I mean, really? Is that all your life is? Just running? Like people that do weights. You know, I'm not condemning them for doing these things. You know, you do these things and you find it fun. It's what you enjoy. That's absolutely brilliant. No problem at all. But it's when they go on about, and then you wonder why they never get invited out anywhere after that. It's like because nobody else cares. Like, this guy's got some seam on his gaiter, on his gaiters, but quite hard to get to them beyond his dangly ball. He's got a big dangly ball, which is getting in the way. So annoying. Got it so annoying with these panic buys, reading things forever. Yeah, the panic buying stuff is just nonsense. You have to be a particular kind of idiot. Now, I mean, I had to do a little, not panic buying. You know, I had to buy do a little bit of overstocking. But like I said at the start, a lot of people Most people will be in the camp of they might be quarantined for a couple of weeks. But if they, if they do get ill, then they'll be fine. But they'll be shut away for a couple of weeks. Like I said before, though, because Mama Fox is high risk, I can't leave the house until it's finished. This isn't for 2 weeks for me. This is however many months it takes. So I had to make sure that we had at least a reasonable supply of food in the house, on the off chance that when it comes to, because we're going to depend on Amazon and stuff for our food supplies and shops. So when it comes to ordering food, on the off chance it's a few days for the delivery because everybody's ordering online and Amazon's exploding and on fire, that at least we've got some supplies. I don't want to suddenly find we've got no food left and it's a week before we get any from Amazon. So I did a little bit of, not panic buying, but just stocking up canned stuff and dried stuff, but not like buying 1 billion toilet rolls and stuff like that. That's just stupid. I know it's different for everybody and people in different situations, but if people were just doing their normal weekly shop, they'd be absolutely fine. Oops. Right, Raging Bassist is in. Welcome, Bassist. Hello. So Judah said, yeah, not wrong. Model making guru. M. Shane, Jay's Models and Stuff says, yeah, our local store was out of every frozen veggies and potato products, but the fresh veggies were well stocked. That's the thing. I mean, if people just bought stuff like they normally do, the supply chains will be fine, because don't forget that supply chain is being considered as an essential thing. So you're not going to suddenly find that delivery drivers aren't making deliveries because the government told them to stay at home. They're not. Delivery drivers and like food chain supply type people, they're still sending their kids to school even though the schools are closed, because they're key workers. They're classed as key workers. So that's not going to be a problem. No reason to panic buy. Unless you know that most people are idiots and you're going to have to panic buy because everybody else is panic buying. It's like, oh, for God's sake. I don't know. It's always amusing when all the foods are gone from the shelves except for the one item that apparently no one finds to be edible even under dire circumstances, like tinned salmon. Nobody wanted tinned salmon. I'm breaking out the sandpaper. There's literally no delivery slots for months on any of the food shopping sites now, says Beck Storm. Wow. It will get better because people will stop being spoons and they'll take on more staff. So it should be alright. We'll get there eventually. Do. Well, I'm officially off work, says Bassist. So time for painting and writing and prepping my workshop and working on all the base techniques, including Tommy the Cat by Primus. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. I have no idea what Tommy the Cat is or what Primus is, I'm afraid. I'm sure it's good, whatever it is. I'm actually using sandpapers. Not often you see me use the sandpapers. I also have grown a huge dislike for the colour pink, but to be honest, it might be the Reaper Bones recipe. Yeah. Get yourself some Screamer Pink and Emperor's Children. If you start playing with things like Screamer Pink, Emperor's Children and Druki Violet shade, you'll suddenly find a deep liking for pink. Or if you're doing airbrushing, get yourself some of the Tamiya Pink that they use on things like the British Desert Army type stuff, the Pink Panther. Raging Bassist. Oh, Raging Bassist. I don't think I've announced this, but I passed my grade 8 exam, base exam. Congratulations, well done. Congratulations from me and from everybody in chat and the whole community. Kick-ass, buddy. I hope you post that up in the Boom Hut as well, just to show off. I think you should. Well done, congratulations. Dazda says about the things that are doing CrossFit and running, so they can send it to other friends who send them I'll start again. It's so they can send it to other friends who send them selfie pics of them having gone for a run, because somehow it's different to the last picture they sent of them going for a run. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but congratulations, bassist. I'm using the Army Painter Pink. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, please don't directly mention specifics about the current medical situation if you can avoid it. YouTube are demonetizing videos where conversations become obvious to that, and its algorithms detecting what's been said in chat and things like that. So please avoid mentioning anything specific. Keep it vague and nebulous. Don't use the C word or the V word or anything like that in the chat, because if this gets demonetized, that's my livelihood. I don't want it demonetized. If you can avoid it. Oh, there's a nub right on this dangly ball. I'm going to get this off without stabbing myself or snapping it. Like that. Okay, cool. That was not as hard as I thought it would be. I'll come back to chat in a second. There is my round file. Oh, Tommy the cat. Tommy the cat is going to murder me, I swear. I have enough. In the Philippines, everyone was panic buying Gumpler, says Retro Rabbit. Nim says, I have enough of my backlog to keep me happy. I've got enough of my backlog to keep me happy for months. Some places are prioritising older people, so you should be okay with ordering for your mum. Should be fine. I mean, when we order stuff from Amazon and stuff, it's through mum's account anyway. So, and they probably know she's 1 billion years old, which is cool. It might get prioritised. Stock rice, beans and cornbread. To blow my nose. Stock rice, beans and cornbread, and you're good for a while. We don't actually do cornbread over here that much, but rice and beans, absolutely. I have... I stocked up on being a lazy person. I stocked up on many Uncle Ben's ricey type things, and some other ricey type dishes and things like that. Flavoured rices, lots of super rices, and we've got pasta and stuff, various pasta dishes. We've got some tortellini, we've got some gnocchi, we've got some other ones, we've got some conchiglie, the shells, tortellini, conchiglie, other ones. Sean Wiles says, I must admit, I did panic buy today. I bought 3 bags of sherbet lemons instead of my usual one. It'll be the end of us. 4 down. Wow, I've got 4. Yeah, 4 done. If you mean me. The worry is that delivery drivers will get ill, says Adster. Yeah, that is a risk. It was actually quite endearing in a way the other day. I ordered something, and it was pretty clear, because we self-isolated early. It was pretty obvious that the delivery driver, we were his first delivery to self-isolation address, because we've actually put a note on the front door, and you can't miss it. It's yellow card with red text, and it basically says, we are self-isolating, please place deliveries and mail in the porch, close the door, place the deliveries and mail in the porch, knock and ring the bell, close the door and step back to the pavement. Because then what we'll do is we'll hear the knock, we'll go down, we'll make sure they're stood back on the driveway, and then we'll open the door and get the stuff. And everybody's been really good, and this guy was brilliant. But I heard the knock, and I went downstairs, and there were the Amazon bags in the porch, and there was the guy stood halfway down the driveway, looking absolutely terrified. I was like, oh, please, he was only a young fella, probably early 20s. He looked absolutely petrified, like I was going to just throw plague at him or something. Bless him. But I gave him a thumbs up, and he gave me a big smile, and then went off and ran away really fast. So I think I was probably his first no contact delivery. Right, I think that's that guy Dean lined. My dad is actually applying to help out as to stock shelves on a 0-hour contract, so he has no work, says bassist. That's good on him. Absolutely good on him. I was talking to my very good friend Tony. I said earlier on, Tony over at Helgen35. He works in the NHS. I won't say where he works, obviously, but he works in the NHS in a non-medical capacity. We were talking earlier on today and stuff, and I was thinking, you know, because I'm self-employed, I have the option here. I would have the option to volunteer to help out, say, at my local hospital. Or anything, any kind of, you know, I want to help the guys out. Just doing, like, tedious admin-y stuff or anything, just helping out so that the staff that are there can do more important things and I can take some of the crappy work off their hands. You know, not health work, I wouldn't train for that, but just paperwork or filing or anything, just to mean that that person that normally does that can go and do something more important. But I thought to myself, I'd do that. I'd love to do that, but I can't, because I can't, you know, can't go out. I can't leave. I can't run the risk of passing something on to Mama Fox. So it's really weird. It's like neither of us are ill, but we have to just act as if we're both made of plague, pretty much, because it's the only way to keep her safe is to go a bit extreme and a bit over the top and a bit overprotective, because it's the only way. To keep her safe is to just, you know, get too protective. Yeah, I'd be fine. I'd be absolutely fine if I caught something. I'd no problem at all. I would suspect I might not be, but most likely I'll be absolutely fine. I'm not at risk. Can't take that risk that you wouldn't be. See, so and that's why people that are just saying, "Oh, you can still go out and about. What's the risk? I'm young. I won't get ill." Yeah. You want to say to people, "That's great. You go to the pub and you have a good time with your mates, and then when you get back, you can kill your grandparents or your parents if they're old or got medical conditions, or, you know, or your brother or sister if they're young but have an underlying medical condition." Because keep in mind, not just old people. It's more likely to be the old and vulnerable, but it's not just them. Doop-a-doo. We're all very serious. Let's not do serious anymore. Bored with serious now anyway. Yeah, right, where are we? No. Chocolate vegetable 19 must not be named. I like that. Chocolate vegetable, I like that. Did Fox say dangly ball? Yes. I said dangly ball. I can't get that close to the microphone. It's not. My visor gets in the way. How is Tony doing? I've missed his video, says Dan. He's actually started a new... He was doing a helicopter build for E-models. I think that's in the editing stage. But he's actually started a new build for E-models. He's still around. He's fine. He's absolutely fine. He's fine and dandy. He's as good as you can be. He's just been through a tough time at work over the last couple of years, just working non-stop. Also, he's moved house and other things. So he's just not had time. You know, like real life takes over and you fall out of the hobby a little bit. He's still around. He's starting a new build for E-models. If you remember a long time ago, I went to E-models and I picked up the Ryefield, I think it's the Ryefield, Panzer Ausf G kit, the one with the clear hull, so you can make it as a cross section. It's got an interior on it, and I got that, and then I realised it was going to be a nightmare, and instead got the Perfect Red Millennium Falcon instead. Tony's going to be doing that tank. I gave him the kit. So yes, he will be. He's just not had, because he's been in the process of moving and this and that. He's not been able to film. He's not had anywhere to film either. But he's now got somewhere he can film. I forgot to do this guy's barrel earlier on. So hopefully he should be starting filming. He's been waiting for a replacement sprue because one of the sprues is actually completely missing from the kit. He's just been sent that by James Mate at E-Models. Thank you, James Mate. I think he's going to be starting that soon. He's very pushed for time though, so where is it? See, the thing we often have to explain. People don't realise this. Almost spot on. People don't realise this. You know, why it takes so long to do build series. And we always have to explain. Take a kit that takes a week to build and paint. Now, film it as a tutorial, it now takes you 5 weeks to build and paint, because you're not just building. That was perfect barrel. I had a little bit of cleanup, but it was right in the middle. I'm proud of that. You now just not what would take you normally 5 weeks, just a week just to build and paint. Now you've got to keep stopping and starting. You've got to set up the camera, set up the shot, start filming, do 5 takes because you're in, you can't get your lines right. Do that shot 5 or 6 times. Keep stopping, keep starting, and over. Then you've got all the clips. You've got to edit them all together. You've got to do, and then it takes you so long that it can take a week to do 1 episode, and that can be just, I could just be painting a mini, and that could be a week's worth of work. So it does take a long time, and Tony has very little spare time anyway. So what would take you a week to build and paint, it will take me 3 or 4 weeks to build and paint and film. Will take Tony maybe 3 months. So be patient. He is coming back, don't worry. Seems the beer is kicking in. My spelling has gone to pot. The seducer, nothing wrong with that. Hey Fox, are you streaming tomorrow? Says Eric. Yes, I'll be doing Skyrim Saturday tomorrow, and I'll be doing Warhammer Sunday on Sunday. Might do more of this like random streaming again, but I might not. See, Saturday's difficult because other people do streams on Saturday, and Sunday obviously the big chunk of us are doing streams. So Colin in the morning, Colin and Dave with the Buddy Build a Sunday brunch, and then Chris obviously in the evening on Sunday. So I don't tend to do anything else on a Sunday. Saturday, I can't remember. During the day, I don't think anybody else streams. In the evening, sometimes it's Carl and the Model Officers Mess doing their. I do apologise, Carl. I can't remember what you call your stream. What's it called? Somebody tell me in chat what it's called, their stream. They don't know. I think it's every other Saturday. I think they do it. Nim Cinderin says, on a different, slightly more positive note, my D&D campaign ended and we all survived and got happy endings. Yay, well done. Awesome. There was no like gazebo of doom then, I take it. Cynical Steve says he's got one of those plague doctor masks. He brought it over from Italy from a few years ago, or a friend did. Yeah, we're taking a bit of Nim is taking a bit of a break from her Dungeons and Dragons to relax before we jump into a new one. You're not going to do like a bit of a Warhammer palette cleanser, little quick couple of hour Warhammer games to cleanse your palette before a proper long drawn out D&D? Nim says, my character got a military promotion, so now she has a lifetime of paperwork to deal with. Yeah. Dan says, I'm playing in 2 games, but my shoulder has kept me at home the last several sessions. One is The Traveller, other is Call of Cthulhu, Horror on the Orient Express. Something for the weekend is, that's Carl's, yeah, Something for the Weekend is the name of Carl's stream. Thanks, Dad. Twig and Pig says, hi everyone else. Hi Dad, I may be a few shandies in. Nothing wrong with that, dude. You fill your boots. Plenty of it. What was it called? Oh. Plenty of it, flood the cowling, that's the phrase. Flood the cowling, plenty of it. Raging Base is saying, my D&D campaign has moved to a roll 20 due to the gaming centre at Goblin closing. Yeah, if you've... the guys at Goblin Gaming, they do have quite a big, nice gaming centre as well. It's not too far from me, but they have had to obviously temporarily close it for the time being, so... Just the gaming centre, obviously. When my arm is better, I'd like to try recording my Ecto 1 build and other stuff. I plan to mod it quite a lot. Do it. I fully encourage everyone to do YouTube. We play over Discord, says Nim. Cool. Right, what time are we on? It is 11:30. I've done 5 dudes. I've now got to make the same 5 dudes again. Look at that. I've done 5 dudes. When have I ever built 5 dudes before? I know, it's because they've only got 2 parts each. They're not that, yeah, it's not that big of an achievement, not really. Not really. Right, let's do some more then, shall we? We shall do... These are all exactly the same guys now. Spread over different sprues. Weird. That's weird. Let's do the same guy we've just built. Let's build him again. Beck Storm is working on customising a master grade Tulgis. The theme I'm going for is Spartan. I can't imagine why. If you go and look at, if you don't know what it is, go and look up Master Grade Tall Geese. You'll understand exactly why he's doing it like a Spartan. Only done the head so far, but I can post a picture on the Boom Hut if you like. Absolutely, you should never have to ask if we want to see stuff in the Boom Hut. We always want to see stuff in the Boom Hut. That's what the Boom Hut's about. So don't ever ask, do you want to, shall I put it in the Boom Hut? Just do it. All about sharing in the Boom Hut. Share your shizzle. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Is the Hokey Cokey copyrighted? I have no idea. Shouldn't have used my God hands for that really, but I've done it now, so it's too late now. Can't go back. People are talking about a Dungeons and Dragons game or a Call of Cthulhu. I'm not sure. It's nothing I know about, so I will keep quiet and not get involved. I have nothing to add to that conversation. This guy has beard, a gnarly beard, and a kind of leathery, silly face mask. Shaving things off. That there, little nub on the clip on his pistol of whatever type it is. Tell you what, I'm surprised there aren't more first-person shootery type games in the Warhammer 40k universe. I think we really need I know there've been ones before, but they've always been a bit We really need, imagine, if you will, somebody like, I don't know, id. Imagine id making a 40k first-person shooter. Imagine that. Or I was going to say Bungie, but yeah, maybe Bungie would do a quite good one, maybe. I mean, Bungie would certainly have a field day with the lore and the backstory and the fluff. Imagine, because I just want to shoot bolters. I just want to be able to walk around with a big-ass bolter and shoot things. Paul Di Tommaso, hello people, what's going on? Hey buddy, welcome. It's just a random time-filling stream for those of us who are quarantined or isolated or just can't get out or just staying indoors or whatever. Keep people's spirits up. Those of you who perhaps live by yourself and can't go out and I've got no one to talk to, now you have, although you're talking to me in chat, really, obviously, but I plan on doing a lot of these over the coming months because we're going to be here for a while. I'm here for the duration. I'm in this house now for months, so I'm going to be doing a lot of these in between my other stuff. Not every single day, not all day, every day. I'll do as many as I can. Did I not take that number off when I did him? Hang on. Have I left it? Where's it? Where's his? Oh no, I got it off. Just a nub I've just taken off this guy. And I'm thinking I didn't remember taking him off the last time. Retro Rabbit, Acapella Space 1999 and go. Pew. What? Where's that come from? Meow, meow, meow. That's great. I suddenly realised that my actual meow 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 sound is just slightly out of tune, but I did kind of record it. I'll tell you the story behind doing that theme tune. I recorded it. It was summer. It was very hot. I had to have all the windows open because it was very hot. I was also acutely aware that recording that you can't do it quietly, and we had a new neighbour move in next door who she's very lovely. She's very, very lovely. And I was like, wow, this is really awkward now. You know, I won't deny that maybe I've got a little bit of a crush on her because she's really quite nice. But anyway, so there's me sitting in here and making twiddly music noises and stuff at top volume because I have to. I'm thinking, dear Lord. So I had to say to her, if you hear some weird kind of noise, just I'm doing a YouTube thing, and I had to explain it, and it just sounded even dumber when I explained it. So I went into full socially awkward penguin mode, and I don't think I've ever spoken to her since. I'm too embarrassed. So, yeah, it's the sacrifices I make for you folks. It's great fun though. Didn't quite sound as I hoped it would in my head though. I've got to be honest with you. But never mind, Space Hulk Deathwing is good. Oh, okay. I've just started planting my dice at men while listening. Dice man. Buildy tomorrow, so I'm sick, so I'm not going to work this weekend. Hopefully you've not got... What do we call it? Hang on. Just so you know, we're not using the actual names of things in chat because we're not allowed to. We'll get demonetized. So we're calling it Chocolate Vegetable 19. There we go. Hopefully you've not got Chocolate Vegetable 19. I think we should call it Chocolate Vegetable 22 or something, just to make sure. We don't want the algorithms picking up anything that we shouldn't be saying. Because don't be taking my money away from me, YouTube. Hopefully it's just a cold or something. Get well soon though, dude. Get well soon. Take care, buddy. He says, we'll attempt to do some painting while I'm off. I may also do some more prints with the resin printer. Woo! Printers are great. The resin printer would be great because all you have to do is say, go. There's no actual... If you're not in a state to do lots of effort and work, yeah, just let the printer do all the work for you. Great fun. And of course, fantastic results at the end. Minimal effort, maximum results. Yeah. Our very good friend Spid, by the way, sent me, because I lost my originals or I didn't have enough, sent me a whole mess of hamster heads. You know, like Chris has his Warhamster Sunday and he's got the Space Marine with a hamster head on. Well, he sent them to both of us, but I lost mine. But I do plan on in the future doing a proper Primaris Space Marine squad, all with hamster heads. That will happen in the future. So Spid, thank you very much if you're watching. He sent me a whole mess of them, so I've got enough now to make a whole squad. Yes. Paul, I'm just going to remove your comment, not because it's bad, just because I don't know what YouTube is filtering for. Oh, I can't. There it is. And I don't want to take any risks, so don't be offended. I don't know what YouTube's algorithm is searching for to demonetize streams, so you don't know how sensitive they are. So don't be offended by that. Definitely makes me feel like a vegetable, and I eat too much chocolate at home. Nim says you could always play Munchkin 40k. Exists. I have photographic evidence. Yes, there is Munchkin 40k. Who would I talk to get hamster heads for my Space Marines? That sounds like something that has my name all over it. SpiddyQ8. You'll see in chat every now and then. He very, very kindly just sent them to me, but I think if everybody wants them to do something for him, then he might ask you to pay a little bit of money, because it's only fair. But yeah, SpiddyQ8. He downloaded them off somewhere, I think Thingiverse or somewhere, I don't know. And just printed them out. Look at the mint. That's the one Chris has got on his Warhamster. Did we come up with a name for Chris's Warhamster? Chris isn't watching, sadly, so I don't think. Refuse is not in chat, but I don't know if we come up with a name for it. Is it like Lieutenant Cheeks or something? I can't remember. I need some more. Do I need some more water? Nah. We'll get this one guy done, then we might call it quits. I'm tired today. Tired now. I was thinking I'm planning streaming for a bit longer, like, till maybe 1 in the morning, but I think I'm a bit too tired now. I've been up all day today doing stuff, so we shall see. We shall see. Resin 3D printers. Resin 3D printers. Resin 3D printers are amazing. I spent hours upon hours building supports. Smiley. Titan Forge, Patreon is awesome. I'm almost done printing the Iron Dwarfs. Yeah. Oops. Big massive seam on this again. Big bit of mold slippage. I didn't know you could get mold slippage on plastic kits, but you can. Because this ain't Warhammer print. Ain't a Warhammer mold. It's made in Japan. Reliably informed. Sleepy Fox brain mode activated. No, that just means I'm awake. It's in sleepy mode. That's just general consciousness. Where is Chris? Chris was tired. He was a bit pooped today. He wasn't. I think he's having an early night tonight. He's a bit knackered. But like me as well, being self-employed. He was also not very happy with what was announced today. Hopefully that will be resolved with a better solution going forward. No politics, please, but just a quick mention, obviously. A little bit frustrating. We shall see what happens. Theme of your army should be Weird Al's attack of the radioactive hamsters from a planet near Mars. Now I've got just eat it in my head. Just eat it. Eat it. I won't sing that too much because of copyright. Weird Al Yankovic, there's a name. Is he still going? I think he is, isn't he? I iced the eyes on the other dice man, by the way, says Dan. It says bassist. Does that mean you nailed it or you got rid of them? What do you mean by iced? Iced. Do you mean aced? I don't know what you mean. Old Zoids kits have mold slippage, 1980s. Yeah, I meant on modern kits. I know you get them on old kits. I've built enough Airfix and Revell to know that mold slippage is a thing on. I just meant on modern kits. Oh, sniffling it out. I've got a question for everybody, says M Shane J's models and stuff. I'm at a decision impasse in my mini TIE fighter build. Okay, fire away. Standing by for questions. Plenty of it. Flood the cowling. Is it a mini TIE fighter for the tabletop game? Again, I have to use the sandpaper on here because it's hard to get to. Was meant to be fixed. Was holding a paintbrush. My bad. Okay. Awesome. Yes, they were good. It was just I think it's because they were just the little black dots. So it was like you painted the pupil, but not the actual iris that goes round it. I think just made them look a little off. I think was why because you said yourself they don't look quite right, but I don't know why. I think that's what it was. I didn't really mean to sound so negative when I was explaining it, but I couldn't really do it in less than 1,000 words. But you know what I meant. It was kind of they looked a bit, something just wasn't quite sitting right. That's what it was, I think. Let's have a look. Should I paint the black on the panels, tape off? Oh, here we go. This is for his TIE fighter. Should I paint the black on the panels, tape off, then paint the Imperial Grey on the grey first, tape, then black or grey and brush the panels black? Bandai models. If the black panels, the radiator panels are molded in, I can't remember if they're molded in or separate. It's tricky because when you're masking it off, if you're airbrushing, of course, you're not masking off you've not got a surface and a surface. You've got a surface and a surface, but this surface has got a grill pattern, so it's not flat. And any tape on the edge here, you're going to get paint underneath. I would say easiest way to do it, less hassle way, is paint the whole thing grey first, mask off the grey ridges, spray the black, and then when you take the tape off, if you get any black that's gone up the side of the ridge where the tape doesn't quite cover it because it's an uneven surface, just touch that in with the grey very carefully with a very fine brush. Touch that in. It'll be easier to do it that way than trying to touch in the black, because again, the problem with the black is you've got that ribbed, sort of ridged, cross-hatched surface. Trying to paint that edge straight with the black, your brush is going to be going like that up and down the ridges. You can have a nightmare. So paint all the grey, mask off the triangle sections for black, spray them as best you can, get the wing. I don't have a TIE fighter here, but imagine that's the wing there. Imagine this is the wing and the black in here and this ridge around the head. Paint it all grey, mask off the grey bit, spray it black, but spray it directly from above, like 90 degrees to the panel. So there's as little chance as possible that the black paint or the grey paint, the dark grey if you want to go dark grey, will go underneath the tape. Because you'll have, imagine this cross-hatching here. Imagine this is the solar panel here, this cross-hatch pattern, and the grey bit is the panel that sits on the side like that. You want to mask that off with your masking tape like that, and you're spraying your grey or dark grey or black directly down, And then when you pull the tape off, you might have a little bit of the dark grey or black going up the side, so you just touch that in with a brush, because it's easier to get a straight edge on the grey sticky up part, the frame around the edge, than it is to get a straight edge with the brush on this grill pattern, because it's not flat. So I'd do it that way. And I would recommend perhaps going with a very dark grey rather than going straight for black. If you do it black, then you can't do anything else. You can't add any shading to it to make it darker. If you do it as a dark grey, then you can do a black wash around the edge or a dark wash around the edge to put a bit of depth and shade to it, but also you can also smooth that edge between the grey and the black with a shade or a wash. If you just do it black, you can't darken it. You can only lighten it. So keep that in mind. There you go. There's an idea. Maybe not. Now I'll read chat and find that everybody else has answered it a different way, and that was completely helpless. If it's painting, I'd say use the Sabine Wren paint scheme from Rebels. Oh yeah. I didn't take it negatively at all. It was bugging me and I couldn't figure it out, so thank you, says Bassist. Yeah, if you don't know what that was, he posted a picture up of his one of his little dice figures in the bean hut, and he said something's not right with the eyes, but I can't figure out what it is. And it was basically had the white of the eye and then a little black dot. And it wasn't that they were off or googly, it was the little black dot. It was a small black dot. So it wasn't like a cartoon eye with a big black dot. It was a small black dot like a real pupil iris, but no pupil around it. Or iris, whichever is it pupil or not? I can't remember. Anyway, he got it sorted out, so that's all good. I will paint the parts. On that TIE fighter though, if the actual grill is separate from the frame, paint the grill and the frame separately. The beauty of Bandai kits, you can paint all the different coloured parts separately and then put it together. I've actually got a TIE fighter, it's down there somewhere. Yeah, if I can't remember if it's a single wing or if it's frame and grill. If it's frame and grill, paint them separately. This is the beauty of the Bandai stuff. Oh, it's moulded, says MJ Shane. I think Fox has a good method there. Just mask one panel at a time. If you try to do the whole wing, then the tape might lift by the time you got to painting. Yeah, it could be. M. Shane says, I hadn't thought about the dark grey versus black. A rule of thumb, when you're painting anything, the two most difficult colours to paint are black and white. And what you want to really do, when you've got something that's black or white, the one thing you really don't want to do is paint it black or white. You want to start off with an off black or an off white. Because the thing is, if you paint something white, you can't add a highlight to it because you can't get lighter than white. And if you paint something black, you can't add a shade to it because you can't go darker than black. Let me show you something. Give you an example. 1 second. Let me show you. You can look with your eye. I'll zoom in a little bit. Because you haven't seen this yet. You've seen it in a photograph, but not in real life. The beam rifle from my Cesabe has a good old-fashioned Mr. Torg style black and white checker pattern on it. Same as I did. I hope that is that in focus for everybody. I think it is. Same as the fin funnel packs on the back. And now this is all brush painted. And it just looks like black and white. However, it's not. It's off-white and off-black. Basically, the trick is, if you want to paint white... Now, I'm going to give you some Citadel paints, but you don't have to use these specific paints. But it's handy if you've got Citadel paints, they're a good paint to use. For the white bits, what I did was I painted this whole thing white first, off-white. And then I did the black checkers, and then I did some tidying up. How I did this was, I painted the whole thing a colour called Celestra Grey, which is a Games Workshop colour called Celestra Grey. It's a base paint and it's nice and opaque, so it doesn't show much through it. It's ever so slightly off-white colour. It's more similar to this bench, a little bit lighter. It's kind of that grey but a little bluer, so it's a mix between the bench here and this colour. It's a bit in between those two. I'll dig it out, but it took me ages to find the damn thing. It'll be there somewhere. I don't know where it is. There you go. There you go. So I started off with Celestra Grey. You can see what colour that is. Remember, this is for the white bit. You paint it Celestra Grey. And again, it doesn't have to be these paints. Just go off the sort of colour. The principle is the same if you use different paints. It's a warm, like just off-white grey colour. I use this one specifically because it is opaque. You only have one coat and you've covered it. On top of that, I then painted some Ulthuan grey, which again is not a white. It's an off-white, but it's an almost white. If you're using Vallejo, for example, this might be a bit similar to, say, Bone White or Reaper White or something like that. It's not white, but it's off-white. So it's a little bit, got a little tiny bit of perhaps a black in there, tiny amount, just to darken it a little bit. So basically paint the whole thing, base grey, Celestra grey, go over the whole thing again in Ulthuan grey. So two thin coats of that, two thin coats. Then 2 thin coats of that, and then I did the black squares. And what I did was I used I haven't got it here, but I used a colour called Skaven Blight Dinge, which is not black. It's a warm dark grey. I'll put these two away. It's a warm dark grey. It's a bit like a warm German grey. If you think that like German grey is a kind of blue shift grey, I've got it here. Skaven Blight Dinge. Skaven Blight Dinge. Oh, that's Storm Vermin Fur. Where's Skaven Blight Dinge? That's Mechanicus. I've got it here somewhere. There. Skaven Blight Dinge. It's like a German grey. So I started with that. And then over that, what I did was I took some. Actually, I just used that. Started with that. I drew the lines, then filled in the black squares with this, and then I used very thin. But basically, what I've got then is dark grey squares over an off-white colour. And what I do then is I start to make it look like black and white. Now, with the white side, you don't have to do much because I put all this weathering on the bottom is just some washes. When I put the washes on, it makes these look darker, but makes that look more like white because it's off-white, but compared to the black and the dirty bits, it looks white. And with the black, I did then use some thin black to go over the squares a little bit, but not just paint it. It was really thin, almost like a wash, but carefully added, so I could build up the darkness. So it's not quite black. It looks black to you on screen, but it's not quite black. It was a very dark grey, but then when I put the washes over it, it darkened everything down. There's a brown wash on there and stuff. So, but the beauty is, once I'd done that, if I wanted to, I didn't do this, but if I wanted to, I could add highlights to the white by just using white at that point. Because I've painted these off-white, it gives me the option to add a white highlight. If I wanted to make these ones at the top brighter than the ones here, I could add white to that, a thin wash of a glaze of white, and you'd have a highlight. If you just paint the white bits white, you can't highlight white with anything. So you always want to give yourself, you want to step down a little bit to give yourself the option to highlight up to the colour it wants to be. Depending on what you're doing. If you weren't doing weathering and stuff, you might just do them black and white. Because I'm doing weathering, I want them to look a bit used. And same with the black. If I wanted to suggest darkness, I could now go ahead and do more black on some of these darker ones that I wanted darker. I could put a shade or a low light on there, down in this gap perhaps, and that would then mean I've got a contrast between the dark grey, which is the square, and the black bit I've painted, which would be, say, an area of shadow. Because if, again, like with the white, if you paint it black, you can't shade it anywhere. You can highlight it, but you can't shade it. With the white, you can shade it, but you can't highlight it. So yeah, good. If you're doing something that's like a clean space, like a shiny sports car or something, you might not have that luxury. It might just be black and white. But if you're doing something that's going to be weathered or not necessarily be clean, or if it's just something tabletop scale, then try that. Try using off whites and off blacks and working your way up to black and or working your way up to white. It just gives you that contrast. It's all about contrast, especially on minis. It's about contrasts because they're so small. You want the contrast to be more exaggerated. You want your highlights to pop. So don't just start from the colour. Start from a darker colour and work your way up, or lighter and back. I hope that helps. The way I think about it, pure colours like white and black look toy-like at model scale. Exactly. That is the thing. When you're doing things like at this scale, you have to fake. That's why it's all about contrast. On minis, it's all about contrast. That's why, for example, when you see someone painting a mini and they're painting the creases, if you're painting a figure this big, you'd use oil paints and you'd get your creases to blend from the darks and the lights, and it'd be really subtle between the dark colour of your fabric. Say if someone's wearing a blue jacket and it's a figure that's that big, you'd have all different shades and blends, and the dark area would be not that much darker than the light area, but when you stand back and look at it, it would look spot on because it'd be a subtle shade. If you paint a mini, you don't have that luxury. It's tiny. You're going to see it from 3 feet away. You have to make the highlights pop. So you go for a more contrast. So the darks and the lights are often quite separated. But when you blend them together, they look more natural because it's small. It's all about scale. Abaddon is a very dark, warm grey, says Nim. Yeah, it's not fully black. Corvus black is quite a dark black, I think. But yeah, the Skaven Black Dinge is a good colour to start from if you want to go down, if you want to glaze down to black from a dark grey. Skaven Black Dinge or Mechanica Standard Grey. It's a colder colour if you want a colder black. Shane is using Tamiya acrylic, mixing my own colours. Yep. You may have trouble brushing with Tamiya though. They're not designed for brushing at all. They're good for airbrushing, but not designed for brushing. So you might not want to brush with those. Space Ham said, oh wow, Doom Eternal downloaded in like 10 minutes. I'm afraid I must abandon ship, gentlemen. No problem, Space Ham. I'm going to finish soon anyway. No problem. Thank you for coming along. Take care, and we'll see you with a new one for another one. I agree with Dan. I don't want it to look toy-like. Yeah, that's where your shades and your washes and shades and weathering will come in to give it depth. If you paint something that's supposed to, if you just painted a TIE Fighter grey and had black bits, it would look like a toy. It's all about putting depth and shade and highlights. So you want the base colour, you want some washes or shades to put dark in the recesses to darken those down. And then you want something to go over the top of that to pick out the highlights. So for example, I don't know what size they are, but it might be something as simple as paint it a grey colour, give it a very dark grey or black wash, and then dry brush over the grey colour again to bring it back on the raised bits, and then a little bit of an even lighter grey colour over some areas just to make the edges real pop. It's giving it a 3-dimensionality, because if it's just flat colours, grey and black, it won't. It'll look like a toy. That's the trick. It's all about faking it. The problem with TIE Fighters, of course, TIE Fighters don't tend to be battered and beaten and weathered like an X-Wing. TIE Fighters tend to look good or they blow up. That's it. They either look good or they're exploded. So with TIE Fighters, it's difficult because there's not a lot you can do on there. You can take a tiny X-Wing and weather it up to make it look cool. There's enough there to distract your eye. But with a TIE Fighter, it's grey and black. It's quite challenging to get it to look not like a toy and give it depth and variation without making it look weathered and beaten, because they don't tend to be weathered and beaten. A dull coat also helps with taking away the toy look. Oh, absolutely. If you're playing on the tabletop anyway, absolutely you need a dull coat or matte varnish over the top to protect the paint. If you take any of these, play them on the tabletop with no varnish, the paint will come off in 5 minutes. Phil Kett says, evening, welcome Phil. Right, I think we're up to date. I thought the hardest paint was yellow, says Beckstorm. Yeah, yellow is a pain in the bum unless you do a good base coat underneath. If you're using Citadel paints, then Avalanche Sunset is your absolute saviour, because Avalanche Sunset makes painting yellow interesting and fun. If you don't use Avalanche Sunset, you just want to die. If you use Avalanche Sunset, it makes yellow fun and practical. Right, a little bit of sanding and we'll get this guy glued together, and then we'll call it a quit a night. I think gonna grab a shower, catch you later, says Paul. Thanks for coming in, Paul. See you soon. See you tomorrow, maybe, or on Sunday, or whenever. There'll be more of these streams, don't worry. Can't hang out tonight, that's fine. I think of some useful places to send M. Shane reference. I'm going to do some scribing on this guy's gaiters. I never figured out the difference between gaiters and puttees. Puttees are what World War I British soldiers wore between their boots and their pants. It's kind of what these are. But then what are gaiters? I never quite figured that out. Or puttees just another name for gaiters? I know not. Perhaps you could enlighten me. Yeah, M. Shane says, I remember when I put together the Vader tie back in 81, it looked much like a toy from Mattel instead of realistic, but I was only like 13 or 14, didn't know a lot. Yeah, it's all about making it not just flat colours. If you're using Tamiya paints, you might find German grey is actually just a nice colour to start with for the grey. It's not exactly the right colour, but it's, you know, not a bad bluey grey colour. But yeah, Tamiya paints absolute garbage if you're brush painting with them. They are absolute garbage. Don't even try. It might be worth, before you go painting it, if you're going to be doing some brushing in on it, like touching bits in, you might want to maybe not use Tamiya paints and instead go for acrylics. Because Tamiyas aren't actually acrylics, they're lacquers. They're just called acrylics. They're alcohol based. And they don't behave the same as water based acrylics. They're a pig to paint with. Whereas like Citadel or Vallejo or any other water based acrylic, they behave much differently and they're designed for brush painting. They're a bit more delicate, not quite as durable, but you can brush with them if you need to, and they won't be an absolute... Here's how I know this for a fact. I made models for like 20 years when I was a kid, and I always thought I couldn't brush paint because my models look like garbage. So I thought, brush painting, I can't do it. I'll just stick to airbrushing because I'm rubbish at brush painting. However, I went away from the hobby for 20 years, came back, and discovered Citadel paints and proper water-based acrylics. Discovered that Tamiya acrylics aren't actually acrylics. And when the first time I tried to brush paint with Citadel paints, water-based acrylics, it was like the scales fell from my eyes. Timber, his eyes wide, his sails unfurled. It really was like, I had this epiphany. I was like, whoa, wait, what? You mean I can actually brush paint? So all those years I thought I couldn't brush paint, and I got dissuaded from the hobby and put off. It was actually I was using paints that weren't any good for brush painting. My mind was blown. But yeah, they're brilliant for airbrushing. They are more durable than water-based acrylics. Water-based acrylics will come off. That's why you've got to varnish your models. They'll come off if you handle them. They're not very durable. Tamiya acrylics are more durable because they're more like lacquers. They're kind of a halfway house between lacquers and water-based acrylics because they're alcohol-based. But yeah, some people can brush paint with them. What I would say is you can sort of brush paint with them, but first of all, you have to get it exactly right so they flow properly. And you've got to add this and add that. And it's like, you know what? Why would you spend an hour trying to get the paint thickness right when you can just use a water-based acrylic? Also, you cannot use a wet palette with Tamiya paints because they're not water-based. Again, why would you try and get that when you can just use a wet palette and acrylics and happily paint away all day? So I know there are people that can paint with them, and all the best to them. But it's like saying, well, I can't just buy a car and drive it round, or I could just build my own car and spend 10 years building my own car, and then I can drive it around just as easily. Yeah, but then you spent 10 years building your own car. It's when you could be 10 years not building your own car. You see what I mean? It's kind of a silly example, but you get what I mean. Why make life harder for yourself when you can just do it the easy way? They are brilliant for airbrushing. They are fantastic. That's what they're designed for. They are airbrush paints, technically. Not to thin them, but they're just designed to flow through airbrushes really well. That is their forte. Yep, found that out. Okay for small areas, but not larger surfaces. Raging Bases says, good morning. Oh yeah, it's 1 minute past yesterday. Morning, everyone. I've never been on a live stream after midnight before, I don't think. Wow, I'm in the future. It's like being in Australia. Wet palettes with water separates the pigments or something. It's not so much that. It's basically Tamiya paints are alcohol based, and wet palettes are designed for water based acrylics. So if you mix water and alcohol, exactly, it doesn't work. So alcohol based paints do not work on wet palettes because they're alcohol based. Yeah, they are a kind of mishmash. They're like a hybrid because proper lacquer-based paints are often cellulose-based or other chemicals. They're based on lacquers. Tamiya paints are they're not water-based, they're alcohol-based, but they're not quite lacquers, but they are more lacquer than acrylic. It's really weird. They're kind of just a mishmash, really. Oh, Beck Storm says, how about using Tamiya Smoke for a wash? Does that get brushed on or watered down or what? Tamiya Smoke is a fantastic wash colour. What you do is you take the best way to mix, I found that when I was doing Star Wars models, it's a fantastic, it's like a bit like Agrax Earthshade, but weird, it's similar. I found the best method was to get a standard 10mm Tamiya pot of paint. I haven't got one here, but like you can get the X28 thinner in 10mm pots. So get yourself a pot of X28 thinner, 10mm pot. Take the lid off and put in a fat brushful. By fat brushful, in a brush this size, get a fat brushful of smoke, put it in the thinner. Get another fat brushful, put it in the thinner. Put the lid on, shake it. That's your smoke wash. That's as thick as you need it to be. What you do is just brush that all over the model, like a shade. Let it gravity do its work. Put the model down in a way that you want the wash to go into the recesses. So if it was like, if this was the model, I would have it, and that was the bottom and this was the top, I'd have it this way so the gravity could pull the wash down. But you have to watch it. You have to make sure the stuff doesn't pool, because when it pools, you get a big brown and black blob. Make sure it doesn't pool. And that is a good shade. What you can do then is follow it up with a dry brush, same as using like a shade. It's like using Agrax Earthshade, but it's a Tamiya version. The difficulty is, if you're applying that over water-based paint or other Tamiya paints, the thinners, because it's basically thinner with a hint of paint, may reactivate the paint, so make sure you varnished everything first. Second of all, if it's a Bandai model kit, you do not want to do that, ever. Because we've had this conversation before. M-Shay might not know. Bandai plastic is different to most kits. It's not baked. Doesn't actually mean baked, but it's done in such a way that it's not processed like normal polystyrene. It is very vulnerable to thinners, solvents. If you took a Bandai kit and if you take a Tamiya tank kit and you basically dunk it in a load of Tamiya thinner and leave it there, it'll be fine. If you take a Bandai kit and dunk it in thinner and put it to the side, it'll probably fall apart. Things will crack and break. Everything under tension will probably snap and shatter. The plastic gets eaten alive by thinners, solvents, so oil-based thinners, petroleum-based thinners, mineral spirits, any thinners of any kind, solvents, anything like that. It will potentially damage your model, make things crack and shatter. So the one thing you can't do is just douse it in anything that's got paint and thinner. You can make a wash out of water and paint, but it won't behave the same way. You'll get tide marks. You can't really do that on a Bandai. If it's a Bandai kit, you've got to be super careful. It's not worth the risk. So it would be then a case of perhaps using something different, like one of the Citadel shades, Agrax Earthshade or Nuln Oil or something. But you have to be careful and make sure it doesn't just turn the whole thing black. That's why you have to dry brushing and colouring over the top to bring it back from the recesses. Or you could paint it into the recesses to get darkness. There are water-based washes, like the UMP water-based washes, and Flory do some, where you just cover the whole thing and then you wipe it off with a damp cotton bud on the flat areas to leave it in the recesses. But yeah, you've got to be really careful with Bandai, because the plastic tends to explode if you put anything on it that's made of thinners. That's one of the reasons why, he says, I didn't know that. That's one of the reasons why I kind of went off Gunpla. I used to make Gunpla all the time. But the limitations of Bandai plastic made it more of a hassle than it was worth, because you'd be trying to figure out how to keep everything like movable, but also a lot of the techniques I would use to paint things I couldn't use. Like I've made about, I think, 4, when I do this perfect grade Falcon, Millennium Falcon, it'll be my 4th Millennium Falcon in the last sort of 5 or 6 years. The other 3 were the Fire Molds Falcon, and I had my strategy, my method down pat for that. Lots of oil paint work and filters and things like that, and it made it a nice quick paint job. But I can't do a lot of the things I used to do on the Bandai kit. Because one of the things I used to do on the Fire Molds kit, which was polystyrene, was a smoke wash. Because smoke wash looks perfect on Star Wars kits. I couldn't do it. So when I start doing the perfect grade Falcon this week, when it gets to painting it, I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do it. I think I'm still going to do oil paints. I'm still going to do filters and streaking. but I'm going to be very careful. Those aren't so bad because you're not sloshing thinners everywhere. You're using a brush that's been dampened and moistened with thinners, and you're just running it over the surface. That might not be so bad. But I can't do any washes like that, so I'm not fully sure yet. It's really just where you're slopping thinners everywhere. It's because it gets into the nooks and crannies, and especially where you've got two pieces that are, say, under tension. You've got two pieces that clip together, and they're under tension. And if you get thinners between them, and maybe there's no primer there, and it affects the plastic and weakens it, crack, it breaks. I can't tell you the number of times I've had a breakage on a Gunpla that I've then had to either repair seamlessly or replace the part or just give up and stop making it. One of the things that's put me off Gunpla a little bit is that I got tired of the stress of making it all pose. One thing I did start to do after a while was to make Gunpla in fixed poses. So I would literally glue the elbows and the knees into the final pose, because it's a lot less hassle. You can build the frame, paint it, and not worry about anything too much. But also it was the thing with thinners. Right, that guy is done. I did go on a bit longer there. I think we're going to call it a show because I need to go to bed. It's 12:10. I'm sleepy now. Bigger water. I'm going to call it a show there. Massive thank you to all of you who've joined me tonight. It's been good fun. I hope you've had a good time. I will do more of these. Like I say, the whole point of these streams, I'm still zoomed in, never mind. The whole point of these streams is to just give you guys something to keep you busy and keep you occupied. We are, a lot of us, I think, going to find out. I am, like I've said, I'm in for the duration. I can't leave till this whole thing's blown over. I'm stuck here. We are in this for the duration. Some of you longer than others. At some point, probably most of you will end up stuck indoors for a couple of weeks. So I am to do as many of these as I can around my normal stuff and my filming schedule, just to give you somewhere to hang out and chat. So thank you massively. Do keep your eyes up, and I probably won't post up about them. I'll probably just start the stream on the last minute. So make sure you have subscribed, and make sure you do hit the notification bell, just so that if I start a stream at random, you get the notification telling you that I've started a stream. Otherwise, you might not see it. Yeah, but massive thank you to all you. Massive thank you to those guys of you that did the super chats earlier on. I can't thank you enough. That's like, what, 37 quid you've just given me. I can't thank you enough for that. That was awesome. You guys are the best. I'll crack on with these again probably on Sunday. We'll get the rest of these done. If I don't do another extra stream tomorrow, I will see you tomorrow for Skyrim Saturday, 3 PM GMT tomorrow. Skyrim Saturday, I'll be playing some more of what's he called? Jar Jar Blech, I think his name is. I think we called him Jar Jar Blech. I think that's his. I can't remember his name now. Jar Jar Blech, I think his name. But yeah, we'll go back to our Khajiit friend, who is currently is in Bleak Falls Barrow, and he was at the door to the big scary boss, I think, where we left it. We'll join in with him tomorrow. And of course on Sunday, 3 PM GMT Sunday is Warhammer Sunday, when I'll carry on with these guys. And don't forget, of course, Colin's stream at 12:30 on Sunday before mine, the buddy build with him and Dave. And then of course 8 PM on Sunday is Chris doing his Warhamster. So make sure to watch that. So Sunday's a good day for all of you just to hang out all day. We'll all be here for you all day on a Sunday. There you go. Well, I think that's going to do us. Basis says, thank you for the stream and all the streams, Fox. I was going to make scones and finally send them to you, but I thought that's probably too risky. Yeah, maybe not at the moment. Same reason I can't make kits and sell them, because I can't send them anywhere. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, that's going to do us. So thank you very much, folks. Massive thank you. Don't forget, of course, like I say, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want to support me, I would really appreciate it, especially right now. But I know a lot of you can't do that now because of the situation, so don't worry yourself. If you're able to and you want to, you can become a patron. Support me on patreon.com/modelmakingguru. But if not, don't worry, just make sure to like and subscribe, and next time you're in a stream, pop a super chat through or something. It will be fantastic. But I say, it's optional, don't worry about it. I know most of us, you probably can't, so don't, as long as you like and subscribe, that's all that matters. Anyway, I shall say thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay indoors. You don't need to go out anywhere. Apart from to go to work or to get essential supplies. You don't need to go to the pub. You don't need to go and see your mates. Don't take the risk. Because if you take the risk, somebody could die. It's not worth it. Don't take the risk. Stay indoors. Stay safe. I shall leave that with you. So take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome like these. Go be awesome. And I shall say take care, and I shall see you tomorrow. I've got the wrong I can't see my buttons. Hang on. I've got the wrong glasses on. I can't see a damn thing. Take care, guys. I shall see you soon.